Combine on 104.5 The Zone. Myself, Will Bowling, here in Indy. Ramon Foster back in the Music City with lots to get to. 615-737-1045 is our number. Justin Hawkins making the show happen. Rhett Bryan going to join us here at the table in an hour. Easton Freeze in hour 4. Your thoughts in the FNN Big Chat that's wide open. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Good morning, Ramon Foster. How we doing?
We're good, man. Look at you with the cinder blocks behind your head
Beautiful,
now, man.
Isn't it?
Beautiful beige on the walls right now. Lord, happy for you, man.
I will. Maybe I'll do a pan to the scarce crowd that has made their way. It is funny though, here from Radio Row, like a matter of seconds ago, as I'm sipping my coffee and trying to figure out how the heck our new tripod works, because I'm the only one here. Kirby Allen Kirby is nowhere to be found because he was here to shepherd Buck Rising around, and that is a full-time 24/7 job. So I am engineer, I am producer, I am host. I am legend. I'm kidding. This morning here from Radio Row, and like there's just like a buzz that around 6 a.m. it's just a bunch of people around just good morning and welcome in, and just from a bunch of different cities in America, and I'm glad to have contributed to that to start the morning.
Yeah, no doubt. You'll see, you're on Eastern time, so everybody's up. They just hadn't shown up to work just yet, Will.
That's
so it is I think people don't understand. Maybe you should pan to it, but like it is a big old convention center, basically, and it's two sides. It's radio and podcast on one side, then NFL owns the other side with podiums and stuff like that. You like the beige walls that they got you up against right now, it doesn't do justice to what else is going on right now. Well, they got you looking like you're on 23-hour lockdown like everybody else in there right now, man.
Well, the other thing is we are right next to the trash can. We are literally right here at the very back of a very large room, and right next to the trash can, which is fitting. But it's good to be out. It's good to be amongst the people. Rhett Bryan can join us here beside me instead of being across the convention center and on the phone like our guests were yesterday. So we're ready for a good day.
I will say, while doing the combine as well with the hotel that you guys are staying in, I'm guessing with the Sky Bridge, the walk over in the morning is really peaceful. It's a real chill walk indoors as well, I must add to it. But, like, it's a real chill walk over. It's been numerous times where I saw Diana Rossini get up or Pellicero. All of those guys are up working out or are about to head to the set as well, the national TV guys. So you'll run into a lot of people on that walk. I like that walk, though, Will. Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
So the thing is that you forget you were just in this self-contained, like, warm bubble of sky bridges and of things. So in your head, you look outside, you see it's 33 degrees, it's windy, like it's probably a lot colder than that. And I'm like, all right, short sleeve collared shirt is great. And then I'll just throw on my heavy jacket over it. And so I ordered ahead at Starbucks. Free shout out. Look, we can be bought. Starbucks? We don't have a coffee sponsor at the moment on this radio show. I ordered ahead there the second they opened. Pro move on my part, not to pump my own tires, but there was a line about 12 deep of people just waiting to get their coffee. Like, I'm really glad that as I'm like getting out of my room, I went ahead and ordered it ahead. Ready the second I got there. Like, all right, check. Good start to the day. That start was then nullified by the fact that I did not need the coat, and I'm sweating like profusely sitting here because I'm also like, I don't know what Kirby left me here at this table this morning, so I didn't know exactly what I was walking to, so I walked very quickly, and there's probably like sweat all over the back of this shirt. So that's where we're at this morning, and now I'm drinking hot coffee.
Hey, nothing wrong with a little back sweat from time to time, man. Nothing wrong with a little back sweat at all.
So let people know you're working.
Yeah, absolutely, or at least faking like it. One way or the other, the back sweat is appropriate if you're that hot inside. I will give a shout out to Jeremy and our YouTube chat. You can catch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on the app, Twitch, or Twitter as well. But Jeremy goes, India is such a fantastic, organized city. And for as much hate that these two cities have for one another in football, I do have to give it to them on that, Will. Like, the organization of how it kind of just runs seamless. I'm not sure if it's the NFL making sure every box is checked. I got to believe it's the partnership between the NFL and Indianapolis, the city. to organize this, because there really isn't much of a hiccup that goes on in this entire process in all the years they've done it, other than the fact that, you had a couple of national reporters fighting each other. But as far as like
at the Starbucks where I was this
you had to go see the scene, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Here marks the spot in which a brawl went down. But to that point, and I know it makes no sense to brag on Indianapolis or what the NFL got going on, but Will, there's a lot of moving parts that are going on right now that honestly stay on the rails the entire time.
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it is it is certainly the perfect place to have this, and it better not move anywhere else.
Or I'll say this as well, if you want to slander them just a little bit, it's just boring enough that it works perfectly.
Well, here's the thing: it's the hallmark of football in this city. How about that? They put on a good event, and that's about it.
They do.
That's all we need to say.
No doubt.
All we need to say. Robert Saleh meeting with the media yesterday as the Tennessee Titans brass began to go through this process and speak with us through this process. Mike Borgonzi will do that today as well at noon Central Time. What makes this a successful summer for Cam Ward? That's what Robert Saleh was asked. He gave this answer at the podium yesterday.
For Cam, it's always going to come down. I said it before. We're going to take him back to his rookie year, just to square one. A lot of these rookies, when they get into when they join the team, you're already halfway through phase 2, and you're kind of playing. You're in a sprint to try to get them ready for training camp and for week 1. We can kind of take more of a marathon approach with them, where we've got phase 1, we've got phase 2, we've got different ways we can approach them between now and week 1 to get them prepared. So just taking those baby steps, learning everything it takes to be a quarterback, not just on the field but off the field. So again, just him being his best and getting better every single day will be good enough.
How do you assess the state of the AFC South more about
one thing I appreciate, he's in there every day, he's working out, but I don't think there's a day that he goes by without popping in, saying hello. I think he knows everybody in the building's name, which I think is impressive for a young quarterback, for a young man just in general. He's very personable. It is very important to him. That building is very, very, very important to him, and you can tell that he wants to lead it, and he's learning every single day what it takes to be a leader. And there's no doubt, I've said it before, a man who's built the way he is, who's wired the way he is, who works the way he does, it's very rare that those people don't find success. So we're excited to get to work with him.
That's Robert Saleh speaking with the media yesterday. Ramon, when he says we're going back to phase 1, to the beginning and to Cam's rookie season, what does that mean there?
Man, Bob, I just want to say first before I die, that is a top-tier answer. Well, that is about as best of a response you can give to almost anybody when it boils down to limiting the expectation, the progress, limiting that as well, and just limiting the conversation about where Cam is. The reason I enjoy and love that answer from him, and as transparent as he was, is to take Cam back to his rookie year and his second year is by far one of the smartest things that you can do, because everything that he's going to be doing in this offense with this team, with this coaching staff in this second year is all brand new. It will be flagrant, Will, listeners, to start Cam off as if he knows everything, as if he just got it, if this will just solve itself. Absolutely not, man. And I think that's probably one of the mistakes that he learned, or somebody else learned, that he's run across in this pathway and dealing with young quarterbacks. Because, again, you run this operation and you expect guys. The NFL runs itself and coaches coach the way they do, expecting guys to know a whole lot. That's the reason you made it to the top level in the NFL. You're the top 1%. That seems to me he cares about Cam's career. He cares about the expectation that people are going to put on Cam as well. And to say that we're going to drop him all the way back at the first cone in PE, Will, where we're learning how to walk one foot in front of the other. Beautiful answer.
We'll get back into this more in hour 3, and I want to talk more with Rhett Bryan about it too. But I imagine there is, for NFL players, a big difference in off-season preparation from rookie season, where you are being dropped into a process that has really already begun for the veterans and for the other players on rosters, because you have had other just processes from your own position coaches, and you've had practice that's already taken place. Meanwhile, you're preparing for the combine and for the draft. And then for year two, it's you're a pro and you're an off-season guy, and you're working in the way that the NFL team wants you to work in January. Or if you were one of the best, teams in this league in February. I imagine that's a very different process, Ramon, when you're not preparing for the draft. This time of year, you're preparing the way your NFL team wants you to prepare.
Absolutely. It is, man. It's such a cool process. And here's, I guess, the advantage of having coaches that got head coach experience on that team. So many of them, the talking heads, to have had these conversations, you're right, about how they're going to approach this team. And each one of these guys have had bad situations and also awesome situations in their careers. And they can kind of put their heads together and talk through what the Titans are and how they want to move it further. Hearing that answer somewhat gives me at least an idea. I don't want to say hope that this roster, the staff will stay together, but it seems like they're digging their claws into it, though.
615-737-1045, how you jump in. Live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. What we learned from the Combine yesterday, and the one player that everyone here raves about, coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. It's that time of the year, y'all, where we got to start getting stuff serviced, heading close to the springtime. Usually that HVAC system or, rain comes through, and you never know. Your sewer might get clogged up with the plumbing issue, and especially electrical. If you got stuff outside or inside of your house that needs to get fixed. But I do know this. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you or if it'll get fixed right. If somebody's just trying to sell you something you do not need. Hiller, they're really good at what they do, y'all. I've personally used them. Anytime I've called them, they've come over to my house and really done an awesome job. And not just that, they're very personal. They understand your house, and they also communicate with you very clearly about what's going on inside of your house. They've been in business for over 35 years and also are family-owned and operated as well. Their techs, who are usually the guys or ladies that come to your house, are very professional, experienced, and trustworthy as well. And when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting your time. Their motto is, and they truly believe in it, happy you'll be if the service is free. It's just that simple. Happy you'll be with the work they've done, or the service is free and they'll give you your money back. Listen, to learn with them or book with them like I do, simply go to happyhiller.com.
Hour one on your Wednesday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Glad you are with us. From Indianapolis, I'm Will Bowling. In Music City, he is Ramon Foster.
Yes, I am.
615-737-1045 as we kick, push, and coast through the opening 60 minutes
Someday.
of the show this morning. That's absolutely right.
No doubt, man. Good times. Before I wreck what you were about to say a second ago, yeah, we need an update. How was St. Elmo's fast, man?
It was good. It was good. If I had to describe my morning in one word, it would be heartburn. But it was good. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I did mess up last night.
Whoa.
And this is kind of a merit badge of going to the Combine. And honestly, I'm earning a merit badge of hosting a show from the Combine right now because I'm about to talk about the shrimp cocktail that is served at St. Elmo's. So if you are not familiar, it is a horseradish sauce that is very potent. I was here 4 years ago with the Buck Rising show, and I helped do the video for his shows, and they brought it to our table. And it was a big, keep the Combine in Indy thing. And I tried it. Was like, oh, this is really good. A little spicy, a little kick.
Real good kick.
But really good. I liked it. Last night, I was very cocky, Ramon, and I thought that I could handle it. I thought that I knew what was coming, and I had a coughing fit. Legitimately, it almost came out of my nose because it was so aggressive. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. This is not a critique. It's kind of like having wasabi. It just hits you in the face.
Yeah.
But then 5 seconds later, you're good. That's kind of how it was.
Listen, no, I did it last year, and I'm like you. I like cocktail sauce and shrimp. I like shrimp cocktail, just a dish in general. I order abs for my family and get the shrimp cocktail separate from me because I just and I like it spicy. Well, I did the same as you last year. Will, when I tell you, I'm grabbing around my eyes and around my nose.
It feels like brain freeze.
Yeah. Except
That's what it feels
burns.
like. It feels like brain freeze.
It does.
Yeah.
Dog. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one. We clearly are amateurs about how much is a good amount before you get your face feel singed off, to be quite honest with you.
Yes.
Oh.
No, it's not ideal. I enjoyed it, but the first bite was, oh no, what have I done? What have I done?
I was eating the crackers behind it, trying to take the sensing away or whatever, and it didn't work, Will. No. They sell it in the stores, and I bought a bottle of it because why not? St. Elmo's cocktail sauce is right here. It's not the same. They dumb it down big time.
Oh, 100%. They would have to. That's like weapons grade horseradish that you've got in that thing. You could hurt somebody with that.
Best way to describe it right there. Weapons grade cocktail sauce. Give me that when you walk in this thing. But I'm with you. But I like it. It's weird. I don't know.
Too.
I just had to ask you about that one, man.
All right, so things that I have learned so far here and things that I think we have learned. First and foremost, so I interviewed a bunch of people with the Official Titans podcast, the OTP, yesterday, and getting ready for our draft coverage as well on Titans Radio, and I'm so excited to be a part of that amazing team and amazing broadcast. Ramon, everyone loves Jeremiah Love.
Really?
Loves.
Really?
So what I'm hearing more is that he is the blue chip, can't miss, big time prospect that I think I went into the draft maybe thinking Caleb Downs was. And what I'm learning about Caleb Downs is that Caleb Downs is the highest floor prospect within this draft. I think it's fair to say Jeremiah Love is being seen as the highest ceiling overall player in this draft.
At the running back position.
At running back. It's the pass catching, Trevor Sikkema, who we'll have back on as we get through draft coverage as well. And look, just full disclosure, our plan is to get all these people that are here and around here to kind of react to the Combine as we go. And so kind of having conversations now and for our show, we'll book a lot of these people as kind of the next weeks and months go. And we've got time, trust me,
no doubt,
to have all these conversations. But Trevor Sikkema was on with us on the OTP, and I don't want to ruin, obviously, everything he said and the whole conversation. You want to go listen to it, but he thinks Jeremiah Love is the blue chip prospect of this class, and said as much. Said, I think there's one blue chip player, and it's him.
And it's him. That says a lot because if you're the Titans, and we've had this conversation, I think who's I listened to yesterday? No, it was us. We were talking yesterday. You brought up the idea. I think with Stoney, he was just like, there's a contingency of this Titans fan base that wants Jeremiah Love and only him. Let me ask you this moving forward, because taking a running back in the top 5, some people frown upon as just one of those situations in which you say to yourself, well, did you really need him, or is he that special? How much of an immediate impact will he have? From your perspective, and I guess the way you review the way the Titans look at him, would taking him in the top 5 after hearing the perception of him match his talent and the 4th overall pick?
No question.
Wow. Okay.
No question. I think it warrants the pick. Now, that's independent of need. That's simply viewing it the way we would in like baseball, of like what the slot is, right?
Okay.
So I liked the point that Steve Palazzolo made with us yesterday. If you missed it, you can download the podcast wherever you download podcasts. Steve Palazzolo of the 33rd team, who's around here somewhere too, made the point that when you have a player at a position that is less likely to receive a big second contract from you or produce deep into their second contract, you've got to maximize that value for the 4 to 5 years that you've got them. Are the Titans in the position to maximize Jeremiah Love's value right now or over the next 4 years? I tend to think no. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I don't think it's one of those situations where you are getting the best. You're not getting that high ceiling out of him, because I don't know if the Titans have the weapons around him or the offensive line. Or honestly, again, this is the thing we've got to remember, the defense that can keep you in enough games to where you have the luxury of running the football 25 to 30 times with Jeremiah Love. I know he can catch. I know many people compare him to Christian McCaffrey. I'm not sure he's that level, but there's some people that probably argue with me on that and say, yeah, he is that level, and he's the type of back that can still impact a game even when you are down in the 4th quarter, because he's essentially a slot receiver who plays running back. I'm more open-minded to it than I was. I'll say that, Ramon.
Okay. I understood. So there's I just sent you guys a stat line that's from this one particular guy on Twitter, Rich Herbar is how you say his name, I guess. But he says he gets his stat lines from SIS. I'm not sure what those letters are, but he goes like this.
Sports Info Solutions.
There we go, Sports Info Solutions. So he tweets this out yesterday at 1 p.m., I guess, as everybody's going through this love fest with Jeremiah Love. And, Will, I'm glad you brought him up, because I feel like there's a lot of people, and I think even myself, dismissed the idea of getting a running back in the top 5. We hadn't, for whatever reason, we hadn't heard a lot like we have, but like Notre Dame wasn't plastered across all of college football the way I think we expected them to be this year. They were, and they were good, but like their level of competition, you got to think about that. They didn't make the college football playoff, so the buildup of his legend didn't happen even more so. Even though everybody knew he was a really good player, great player in college. Like, we get that, and I just felt like he was pushed to the side just slightly, probably because of the running back position as well. But it goes here. Rich tweets this out at Lord Reeves on Twitter. Jeremiah Love faced the lowest rate of light boxes in this draft class last season at 35.2% of his attempts. When he did face a box with 6 or fewer defenders, that was 70 attempts. He averaged 9.1 yards per carry. That's the most in the country. That's also a full yard more than Genty, Dobbins, Najee, Mario Hampton, and Bijan Robinson as well. My point of it is this. You mentioned the offensive line. Are the Titans suited or fit for a running back that can handle or maximize all of his talents? If this is true when it comes down to him facing heavier light boxes and he still be productive, then I feel like he'll find a way. Like, that's the one thing that I will say I don't think we saw from Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears this year. When they were faced with situations in which they had to go make a yard or they had to be dynamic to get the offense going, you didn't really see it until the Cleveland game. And that was later on in the season, Will, when it's starting to get cold outside. And that, to me, is where I somewhat had the conversation with you yesterday. It's just like, well, when you got a running back like this could be the highest assistant to what Cam is trying to do. The fact that he can go get 5 yards on the ground by himself, especially if we incorporate the comments from Coach Robert Saleh yesterday, where he's saying they're going to take Cam back to his rookie year. That's where I think you can justify taking a running back top 5.
Yeah,
is that yin and yang of Cam and Jeremiah Love if they choose to go that route.
To me, and your thoughts, so open for it as well, 615-737-1045. To me, if you're drafting Jeremiah Love to Nashville with the 4th overall pick, you better believe that he's Saquon Barkley. I think it's that simple. You better believe that he breaks the mold of production and value within 4 to 5 years and is the type of back that you can say gives you that production and value into a second contract and into their 30s, and like is someone that is going to be here for the next 7, 8, 9 years, pushing a decade. Like that is what they have to find as a foundational building block. You need somebody that's going to be here for at least 2 contracts, and that's conservative. I mean, it's the 4th overall pick. So if you have that strong of a conviction and you believe that he's Saquon Barkley, by all means. You know, that's why I think that I'm putting him in the hat of I can see the vision, right? Like there are a number of prospects, and honestly, right now I'd rank them: Reuben Bain Jr. 1, David Bailey 2, Carnell Tate 3, and I'd probably put him 4th of the 4 guys that I think make the most sense in that order for the Titans. And I think Arvell Reese is 5th, Ramon. And I can't remember who said it yesterday. I don't know if it was Palazzolo with us or if it was one of the guys we had on the OTP yesterday. For as raw as Arvell Reese is as a pass rusher with 97 pass rush snaps last season, for a Robert Saleh defense that is likely predicated, and again, if you draft Arvell Reese, you may adjust some of your scheme to him, likely predicated with send 4, drop 7, play some games up front, try to confuse the quarterback on the back end. But largely, I mean, they blitzed at the 4th lowest rate in San Francisco in the NFL last season. I'm not sure that Arvell Reese is the kind of guy that's just a straight-up pass rusher that you bring here to just be straight-up pass rusher. I see him as a chess piece, Ramon, that you move around, you do some fun things with, and again, maybe Saleh would sign up for that if you bring him here. I put him at the bottom of that list in terms of fit for me. Does that matter? Where does that balance for you between fit and just the overall talent? Because he's pretty dang talented as well.
It can matter. I think that was Palazzolo as well. Just saying, like, Arvell Reese doesn't have a whole lot of reps, and he's learning on the job, basically, is what he's doing. And that, to me, is to the point that you're making, like, the impact that Arvell Reese can make going into his 3rd or 4th year if he does stick to edge. Where I fall with it is where we first had this conversation about him, about Bain, and about David Bailey as well. He, of the group of 3 rushers, Arvell Reese that is, he has the most learning to do. He reminds me again of Isaiah Simmons. Not saying that he's going to fall into that, the former draft pick of the Arizona Cardinals. I trust Jeremiah Love more versus Arvell Reese as far as immediate impact for this team than I do watching Arvell Reese grow up. And what happens if the physicality, which he's handled it well at the college level, Arvell Reese, doesn't translate? You just move him to inside linebacker? Like, I know that's an answer for you. Like, he does have that 2-sided sword or, same side coin flip to where he can go off the ball and make plays for you, but this team needs a rusher. I think if you're specifically going for a position, one of the best guys at that one, and Jeremiah Love is there. I'll add more context to as we're speaking Arvell Reese versus Jeremiah Love, and would love to have you guys input on it as well if you call in. But here's the other part is when you look at Love and how he's being compared, almost every guy to a T has hit as of late when you mention it. Breece Hall has. Bijan Robinson has. Saquon has. Ezekiel Elliott has. Like, there's been one of these guys once every 3 to 5 years. I think this is up. I'm not Genty. I expect.
Genty is the exception, but he's only 1 year in.
And respectfully, do we mention his level of ball? And how unconventional?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
all things considered.
Definitely a different prospect. I agree with you, though, that the hit rate has been pretty dang good on running backs that high. The next question, though, I would ask you, Ramon.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because this is what's important, is how good have their teams been?
How good have their teams been?
Of those running backs. How good have the football teams been?
Penn State.
The New York Giants hit – no, the NFL teams.
Oh, NFL teams. Yeah.
Like Saquon Barkley. Great back in New York. Warren's not a good team. They prioritized that before they were ready. Atlanta, Bijan Robinson, really good back, great player. hasn't played a playoff
2-3 head coaches
in his career so far. Ashton Genty looks to be a really good back with a lot of potential. They've not done anything with it.
Good point.
I mean, it's been a minute since a team has made a move like that to draft a running back high, and it's been the right thing for that team. The best example of it is the Detroit Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, they already had a line in place.
They did.
They already had a quarterback in place. They had wide receivers. They had weapons. Like, they were ready. These other teams are cautionary tales to the Titans that, yeah, you might hit on the pick, but for what? To have a good football player that's just that? A good football player? Or, like, is it a guy that's actually helping you win football games and contributing to wins? Obviously, that is the ultimate goal here.
Two guys then come to mind if that's the case. Ezekiel Elliott, because Dallas Cowboys, they were ready.
Yep.
To your point. They were ready, Will. I look at that situation, it's like, okay, that makes sense to me as well. Do you throw Jonathan Taylor and the Colts in there?
Yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor's a fair one. He's not top 10. Like, right? Where was he drafted? Like,
Jonathan Taylor.
20?
He may have been 20, but to your point. Yeah, he was in the 20s.
Oh, he's 41st. No, he's
second round pick.
That's more in the Derrick Henry mold. See, now that is a different conversation. Now we're getting into the Jadarian Price conversation, the other Notre Dame running back.
Yeah. So I guess the one that pops off, the two that pop off, to your point of taking a running back and wanting them to be as dynamic as you need. Ezekiel Elliott for sure. Saquon had some good individual moments. They had decent years, but again, still coach fired, new regime. And the other one to me, I guess, that pops off is Jahmyr Gibbs and Breece Hall at this point. Breece was a second rounder as well. Jeez, let me check.
Yep. Breece Hall, by the way, is going to be a New York Jet. My dream is dead, Ramon.
Mine died yesterday as well with Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, both of us. Back to the drawing board. And next it's going to be Alec Pierce. Watch. But, that is still what I'm holding out hope for, is that is the white whale of free agency for the Tennessee Titans.
So, I will add before we go, and I see we got a call on the line too, is growing this offense with those guys going to matter as well? Because this is one of the first, I feel like, true resets of watching new head coach who's defensive with Brian Dable with Cam, and also if they get Jeremiah Love and they pick up pieces on the offense. Like the other lacking position is wide receiver. If you're trying to complete this offense and have it ready for Jeremiah Love.
Your comments, 615-737-1045, the number. We'll get to your thoughts next. Wrapping up hour one on this Wednesday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Rhett Bryan will join us at the table coming up here in 15 minutes. 615-737-1045, talking about Jeremiah Love and the Titans and the possibility of that for Cam Ward and the Titans offense. Kenneth is in Nashville leading us off on this morning. What's up, Kenneth?
Morning, Kenneth.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I ride to work with you guys every morning.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Big fan of the show. I'm going to do it like this, guys. I'm not even going to consider Jeremiah unless I don't get a good offer to fall back. Because I'm looking at it like this. Each time you go down, you're saving money also. And if I could say no to Jeremiah and pick up one or two more picks, right now the Titans need a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to try to fill some of the other needs, save the money. That's also going to help me in the future. So you guys, you could, just think about it, tell me what you feel, and I'll hang up and listen.
That's fair.
Appreciate the call. Thanks, Kenneth. What do you think?
The trade back is always going to be a part of it, Kenneth. Like, if you can take Jeremiah Love at 7 instead of 4, most definitely. He's right about it. Like, that fourth slot is, I think we looked it up last week, is about $40+ million to a first rounder just because of the slot. What I would tell you is this. Like, if you're able to get 2 Pro Bowls and an All-Pro out of a guy like this and his offense move in the right direction, I'm here for it. Kenneth, the other part is having a trade partner. Like, if nobody's calling Mike Borgonzi and Robert Saleh by that third pick to try to move up, to move out of that slot, you got to kind of be forced with that selection right there. And that's just where my head is at, is if you got a stick and pick. Yes, moving back always makes sense. It's just that the NFL is going to be on terror watch if you allow Jeremiah Love to go to the 9th pick to the freaking Kansas City Chiefs. That's the other side as well.
Yeah.
Like, they can't wait to get him.
Well, and they need help at other premium positions too. I mean, they got to remake their secondary.
They do.
Offensive line was still a concern for them late in the season last year, and getting a new tackle going from year 1 to year 2 and having him be a bigger part of things. Like, it's a challenge even for them at that point. I do think the trade discussion is very unlikely for this team, considering there is not a second quarterback that someone's going to want to move up for. Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. My dream scenario is that one of these teams falls in love with Arvell Reese and the intangibles, the athleticism. He runs well. He jumps out of the gym. He does so many incredible athletic freak things to where someone moves up and says, you know what, that's the kind of player I'm not going to find every single year.
Yeah.
I'm going to mortgage a little bit of my future to go up and get him. And if that means the Titans can pick up another 2 or a 3 and move back a couple spots, that would be a dream. I just think that's very unlikely. And yes, it does happen. I mean, Will Anderson Jr., that was a trade for Houston. You also, of course, had Jacksonville last year with Travis Hunter. So there is precedent to this happening. But at the 4th pick, I don't know. It feels like a very odd spot for someone to come up and say, yep, that's where I'm going to go get Arvell Reese. Like, if it's not for a quarterback and you're right in front of a quarterback-needy team, it's just unlikely you're going to trade back at that part of the draft.
So I see a comment saying we aren't ready for another running back just yet. That is a strong conversation. Will has brought that up himself. And here's the other part as well. Do you go for, are you ready for the guy, or is this the best guy for your team as well? Like, there's a two-sided evaluation to why you pick a Jeremiah Love in this situation. I do personally think the offense would flourish under a guy like him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's Saquon, then he makes you ready. I think that's the whole point. Like, you've got to believe that this guy is special. Once every 10 years level in order to do that. And we would have to hold him to that standard, by the way. Like, having 1,200-yard seasons and, 8 touchdowns, like, not going to cut it. Like, we're pushing 2,000 yards. We're pushing 1,000 yards receiving. Like, you are the weapon of the offense if you go get Jeremiah Love at the point of the rebuild the Titans are in.
So I ended up finding a list of top drafted running back since 2008. And I'll just go top 12, Will, on each year that these guys go. It goes all the way back to 2018. The reason I did top 12 because I like one of these 12s a lot, okay? Just to add context to it. Top 12, you really in the mix, okay? So in 2008, nobody. 2008, it was 5 running backs drafted. Just look at that arrow, which is crazy. The highest one, Darren McFadden, to your point. Okay, moving on to 2010, Ryan Matthews was drafted in the first round. Oof. 2010, also C.J. Spiller was the 9th overall pick in that draft. Want me to keep going?
That one did not hit, for sure.
Neither one of those guys did. And the only one that hit in 2008 was Chris Johnson, just to your point, and he was the 24th overall pick.
Later in the draft, right.
Absolutely. Exactly. Now let's go to modern football, more modern football. 2012, number 3 overall pick, Trent Richardson. 3 years later, 2015, Todd Gurley at number 10 overall. 2016, Ezekiel Elliott at 4.
That's a hit.
Definitely
a hit. Right.
Okay. Yep. 2017 was the run on running backs for the next few years. Number 8 in 2017, Christian McCaffrey. Hit. This next one is interesting. 2017 as well, same year. Number 4 overall pick, Leonard Fournette. Hit or miss?
Mm-hmm.
You got all the contracts.
Miss.
Yeah.
Miss. Yeah, no. For number 4, miss.
Understood. 2018, the next year, Saquon Barkley, the number 2 overall pick. Hit.
Definite hit.
2021, 2023, number 12th overall pick, Jahmyr Gibbs. Also
hit.
That same year, Bijan Robinson, number 8, hit, but team is bad. And then last year in 2025 was Ashton Genty.
So 2 of those teams were good football teams with the help of that running back. Todd Gurley with the Rams.
Yep.
And obviously
Zeke.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And Zeke, solid teams. Yeah,
even Carolina with Christian McCaffrey. Well, they made a Super Bowl run. No, they Hello. I mean, they went in 15.
That was 15, though. So, yeah, he wasn't there.
So, no, he wasn't there for the Super Bowl run.
So, again, like, you're talking about the next team profiting off of him, but his current one did. We got a tweet about this, too, and Justin hit us up and said, I need guidance to a breakdown of why people think Love is so good. I just don't see it. He says, if you're telling me he is top 5, then he's Bijan. The tape isn't even close. Jadarian Price looks better to me. Well, the last sentence of that, Justin, I do think is a little bit of a hot take.
I like it.
Jeremiah Love's missed tackles forced per attempt last year, 0.33, 95th percentile in college football, 4.45 yards after contact per attempt, average 98th percentile. Last year, Daniel Jeremiah has him as his number 2 prospect on his NFL.com top 50 list. It says he is a dynamic weapon as a runner and receiver. On inside runs, he runs high and narrow, but he explodes to and through the hole. He will drop a level lower on contact, has the lower leg drive to bounce off defenders. At the end of the evaluation, to sum it up, he says, overall, Love is a home run hitter and will immediately expand the playbook for his drafting team. There you go. That's why people love him. Let's go quickly back to the phones before Rhett Bryan joins us on the other side. Kendall is in Nashville up next.
Morning, Kendall.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
We're good, man. Good morning.
So I'm just going to say this, and then I'll let y'all go. In my opinion, I'm a huge Titans fan. I'm not a, bandwagon. I ain't, up and down fan. I'm here for wins, losses, whatever. The Titans, we're not going to the Super Bowl next year. So at this point, we need to grab the best available. So if grabbing Jeremiah Love helps this team for the future, that's what we're building for now. Take him. It don't make sense to hopefully get a guy that might be good. Just get the best guy available and continue to build around this team. If Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley are the defensive minds that they are, with what they get through free agency, second round, third round, etc. But if you have a guy that good that can help your young quarterback out and also a shaky wide receiver room at this moment, you got to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Kendall. I do mostly agree with you. I mostly agree with you. The thing on Love is, again, it's kind of what we said earlier, that if you are trying to draft the best available player, you are then drafting, if you're drafting running back, you're drafting a quickly depreciating value position, meaning that in 5 years, that guy's best days may already be up, and you didn't have a good enough football team to really profit off of that and benefit from it around him. Again, if he's special enough, that doesn't matter.
No doubt.
But I think that's where the challenge lies for Mike Borgonzi, Chad Brinker, and the entire organization. Yeah. All right. Let's get to Rhett Bryan, who has just made his way to the table. He has got a binder next to me. Ramon, there are Baptist hymnals that aren't this thick. We're going to turn to page 474, sing stanzas 1, 2, and 3 of Draft Prep with Rhett Bryan coming up next. Yeah.
It's Ramon Foster for Genesis Diamonds, man. And Genesis has quickly become one of the largest dealers of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in America. And they're having a huge Rolex event. It's next Friday and Saturday, March 6th and 7th. All right, if you've always wanted a Rolex or are looking to add to your collection, you can't miss this epic 2-day sale. It's featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches. They're Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans. Genesis has all the most popular models in pristine condition. Some models still in the box, never worn before as well. During this event, you can take advantage of special financing, which is up to 5 years. And with the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, Genesis will give you a pair of 4-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings as well, absolutely free. And if you already own a Rolex, bring it in to sell or trade or get top dollar for it. Simply don't miss this chance to get the luxury timepiece you've always wanted and get a free pair of lab-grown diamond studs as well. It's next Friday and Saturday, March 6th and 7th only. And at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details while supplies last on approved credit.
7:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Main Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Nashville SC, they advanced to the round of 16 after beating Atletico Ottawa last night 5-0 at Geodis Park. Nashville now will face Inter Miami in the next round in a home and away series decided on aggregate. The first leg will be played in Nashville coming up on March 11th. Tennessee Vols basketball had 15 turnovers and lost 73-69 to Missouri last night. Tigers guards T.O. Barrett and Mark Mitchell combined for 50 points in the win. The Vols dropped to 28-8 on the season and 10-5 in SEC play. In NFL news out of the Combine, Jets general manager Darren Mogi told reporters yesterday that they are ready to use the franchise tag on running back Breece Hall if they cannot reach a deal by the March 3rd deadline for deciding on tags. In Denver, Broncos head coach Sean Payton said that new offensive coordinator Davis Webb will be the play caller next season, taking over for Payton, who has called plays since his time in Denver. And former Penn State quarterback Drew Aller, who's recovered from season-ending ankle surgery, will throw this week at the Combine in Indianapolis. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once and you're home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into our number 2, Ramon and Will, live from the NFL Combine, live from Nashville, live in your hearts and minds this morning. 615-737-1045, how you jump in. Ramon Foster is the man in studio. I'm Will Bowling. Rhett Bryan joins us from the table in Indianapolis. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning to you as well.
Morning, Sir Rhett. What's going on?
Man, it is, I've been to the Combine several years now, and it is really wild just to think about how the league converges on Indianapolis, and you just see everybody that you like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And I'm not a name dropper in this, but I'm walking over this morning to the convention center to hop on with you guys, and I'm walking with Antoine Randall L., who's,
L
is,
Hell yeah.
great wide receiver, and of course, wide receivers coach of the Chicago Bears. And he was on his way to, meetings, and you just never know who you're going to see. And the line for the Starbucks at the hotel is notorious, as that was the showdown for
Gangland.
Jordan
Schultz.
Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, right. I talked about it yesterday. I feel like I was seeing a landmark. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you got place kickers and specialists speaking to the podiums today, like, Dominic Zavada of Michigan, and Ryan Stonehouse's cousin Jack is at the podiums this morning. Right now, linebackers over there talking. So I guarantee you there's a huge crowd around Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, the Ohio State guys, and, the guys that are being mocked and ranked very, very high in mock drafts right now. And, of course, we'll see what that is. Now, the other thing, as I was thinking about this, walking over this morning, this should be the day when we find out exactly what the NFL salary cap is, like legit reported, like it's estimated. Because think about it, boys, 2 weeks from today is the new fiscal year.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is post 48-hour legal tampering, as they say, and here we go with all the signings. So with that thought, I'm like, it usually drops right in the middle of the week of the Combine. And I saw something the NFLPA put out last week that said $303.5 million, I think is what it was. So a lot of stuff going on. And then this thing with the officials too, Ramon.
Yeah,
like
man.
their agreement with the Referees Association is up at the end of May. Yeah. And so there's league talk with the competition committee this week about what that might look like as a contingency plan if they can't come to an agreement there. And I had to think about this. It's been a long time ago, but we did some Titans games with replacement officials.
Yep. I remember that.
Wild. I don't think it lasted super long.
Right.
But I had forgotten about that. I'm like, oh, yeah, that actually happens too. Excuse me. Yes.
2012, right?
There you go.
It was 2012, sure was. I remember being in a league like there were replacement refs. Guys were concerned about the quality in which the referees were going to be calling the game. Like I'm looking at it right now, I'm trying to see how long it lasted, but it most definitely it was the use of replacement officials through week 3 of the 2012 NFL season. The lockout began for them in 2012. This is a big deal. It was something they've been talking about over the last year as well, as they knew these negotiations were coming up. So, yeah, you're right. I'm sure they're going to be asking for a different pay structure as well, Rhett, as you mentioned this new salary cap coming up.
Absolutely, and I think it sounds like the league's posturing part of this is that they have more centralized officiating from, from the lack of a better term, but operations control in New York, and then obviously hand in hand with whoever's sitting upstairs at each venue.
Yeah.
Because, think about this. The way they've tweaked the rules in the last couple of seasons, they're adding more and more to instant replay and quick talk. Like, the officiant puts the headset on, looks at the tablet. He gets directive from New York, and they correct things or say, yep, call stands, and they keep moving to try to keep the game moving. There's so many moving parts to that we say it all the time, Ramon. The NFL is genius because they are relevant dang near 12 months out of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful process. I now on the retired side, watching it develop and become a thing, I think it was you guys that ended up alerting me like there's something every single month that the NFL is broadcasting on national television. And to your point, like this sport of ours of America's put a lot of food on plates around the nation when trying to do it as in the world right now, Rhett and Will. So it's pretty cool.
A lot of food on plates, a lot of years taken off lives. So
yeah.
But it's your mantra, Biggie.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody
eats.
Yeah, right.
And when you wear the shield, everybody eats.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Rhett, we have been really having a great time just talking with a lot of very smart NFL draft people and people like the executives and front office folks who have been in this world and in this process for months. And, I mean, heck, we talked with Trevor Sikkema yesterday, and last year in the summer, they put out their first top 2026 names to know for the NFL draft, and we'll continue that process, of course, today. What is your overall takeaway, or maybe the one thing that you have heard through this process so far that resonated with you the most yesterday from the conversations we had?
Just about the draft class overall?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that I got confirmation from a lot of these guys who study it all the time of what I thought it was. Like, there's not a ton of blue chip top tier, like this guy's in a perennial all pro, just swing and hit the fences for a grand slam type of prospect. There's a lot of very good, solid starters and even some Pro Bowlers. So it is what they would call a high floor draft class. In other words, you're getting some good stuff to start with. Yeah, obviously there's guys littered throughout that are need more development and refinement, but it's a solid draft. Like last year was so much a meat and potatoes draft with tackles and guards. And there's still that this year. There really is. But it's more about there's so many position groups where you're going to get a good starter that can help you immediately, which great news. Guess what? The Titans need those. They need those at corner. They need them at wide receiver. They need them at pass rusher just to start out. And those are the positions that this draft is rich in with value throughout, as Coach Mack would say, the belly of the draft.
That's right. We'll do more with Rhett Bryan coming up next. I am curious to know on the first pass-through of NFL draft prep and coverage who Rhett's guys are. I know you've got a couple of them. We've talked about many of them off air. Who are Rhett's guys at a number of positions?
It's Draft Crush season.
That's right. Draft Crush Wednesday. Used to be Woman Crush Wednesday that people would put on Instagram. Remember that? Today is Draft Crush Wednesday.
Throwback.
Ramon and Will as we continue here in hour number 2 coming up next. What's going on? It's Will Bowling here for my friends at Lee Company. Look, if you're dealing with those flickering lights, faulty outlets, or a circuit that just won't stay on at home, Lee Company has your back. Their award-winning team of electricians handle it all, from routine repairs and fixture upgrades to whole home generators. Available 24/7. Keep your home efficient and safe by contacting Lee Company online at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for professional electrical service from the folks who have been serving Middle Tennessee for over 80 years, since 1944. Open 24/7 with 14 community locations in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama. Head online, check them out there at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple of wide receivers. I'm going to give you an off-ball linebacker or two. And, of course, pass rushers. I got a pair that I like, but yes. How long did y'all hang out downstairs?
Until the end of Missouri upsetting Tennessee, unfortunately.
Oh, God.
Amy was...
Oh, she was.
I don't even know anyone or care, but F you.
Of course she did.
Ramona Will on 104.5 The Zone continues and streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. He is the executive producer of Rhett Bryan, of Titans Radio.
I hope
I'm
so.
the executive.
I'm the master of my own fate.
There's
Yes,
a lot
sir.
going on. All right, I'm an inside cat that's been put
Guess who
outside.
just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys
It's really
that had
funny.
been away.
We're gonna that's gonna live. I think that's gonna be how we introduce you.
We've had this conversation
Yeah,
before.
Wednesday
Like
visits.
Justin's doing great on bump music, but Thin Lizzy's "The Boys Are Back in Town."
Oh, yeah.
that's a great song, but it's not their best song.
Really?
Jailbreak is their best song.
Okay. Well, cue it up later in the show. Maybe
Right.
you can stick around.
It's
here.
good stuff.
I like it.
It's good stuff.
Executive producer of Titans Radio, Rhett
That's an
Bryan, with
old
us.
classic rock DJ talk.
Ramon in Nashville. All right, so your guys, Rhett, if I were to ask you
Yeah.
who your guys are, or maybe just is there one player at the top of the list? Like, how are you dividing
It's
the
going to be by
players you like the
position
most?
because
Okay.
there's several that I like. I'm going to start with a position that the Titans, I believe, will be interested in this draft class, and that's wide receivers. And I'm not going to steal yours because you told me off
Yep.
break what yours is, and
Right.
it's a good one. I'm going to start with a couple of guys that one draft crush for me started officially November the 8th of 2025, and this is when Indiana was playing at Happy Valley against Penn State. That catch that Omar Cooper Jr. made in the back of the end zone from Fernando Mendoza, and then he just kept, making plays. I think he had 20 receiving touchdowns in 2 years there.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a good ball player. Like he's what you want. I'm interested to see how he tests this week, but the film's there. He just produces, and that's no knock to Elijah Surratt, his teammate, but Omar Cooper Jr. is just that was a dazzling catch, and he had lots of them like that. I'll go another wide receiver.
Okay.
That's a day 2 pick more than likely, and that's Deion Burks of Oklahoma. He started at Purdue, but just to see how that guy would show up in bigger games is what you're kind of looking for when you see the tape pop. And I think about, they lost that opening round of the college football playoffs in December against Alabama, but he had 7 for 107 against Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
That's not chump change. So that's a couple of receivers. Clearly, everybody's talking about the edge pass rushers and whether the Titans will do that at 4. I've liked David Bailey throughout this year. And of course, when you're talking about what a productive year he had from Texas Tech, it's like, okay, well, where was that at Stanford? Where was that prior? And was it, part of it a byproduct of all of those great players? Because there's a bunch of Texas Tech guys that are in this week and are going to get drafted.
And Lee Hunter, who is essentially like a regen of Tavandre Sweat in that Texas Tech.
He is a
big boy.
wall.
Yeah,
he is
he
a
is.
wall.
Right.
And the linebacker Jacob Rodriguez. And so anyway, really like David Bailey's play. I think the thing that he improved on in 2025, and he's going to continue to have coaches ask for him to develop more, and they can get it out of him with coaching, is his run defense. So, and then Reuben Bain, everybody's talking about him, and what a motor on that guy. The guy made himself a lot of money. Look at his stat line in the college national championship game. He just, he's got a motor, runs white hot. I think his knock is that he over pursues sometimes. But I tell you what, this draft is sneaky good in that not a lot of people are talking about is off-ball linebackers. And we don't know exactly what that group's going to look like in this defense. Yes, we know there's Cody Barton, and we know that there's Cedric Gray, and he's a machine. And, he's not going anywhere. And, of course, James Williams has moved to that level of the defense after being a safety in college. But one that I really like is Jake Golday from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Guy's 6'4", 240. He was a former pass rusher, stand-up D-end at Central Arkansas before he transferred to Cincinnati. And the guy plays all over the place. It really is interesting to me how good that he can be in coverage. He's going to test pretty well, I think. He played nearly 500 snaps in the slot in Cincinnati's defense, which is wild because that's not exactly what he's built to do. but there must be some athleticism there for that to happen. Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh, he's a very interesting prospect. He's 5'11 and a half, 225 pounds, 32-inch arms, about 1,500 snaps in the last couple of years. Pittsburgh moved him all over that defense. He, I think, would be what you would call. I think he's going to be more of like a big nickel, a big, a safety at the next level, because that's a little undersized for the middle level of this, but he just plays ball. And when I'm talking about these guys, I'm sure some of them are going to test off the charts, but they're good football players, which is exactly what Mike Borgonzi and his crew are looking for.
Right. You mentioned Jake Golday also. He's from Arlington, Tennessee as well, and you mentioned his athleticism. Both his parents.
That's Memphis, right?
Yeah, that's Memphis. That's West Tennessee. Both his parents and brother both played college basketball. So you mentioned the height, 6'4" at linebacker number one, but the athleticism is most definitely there because of genetics, man. When you mention a guy potentially second-round pick at off-ball linebacker, that kind of makes sense, right?
Thank you, sir.
Makes a lot of sense.
There are guys throughout this draft who can help the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, there's 31 other teams going, yep, and they can help us too. But there are, and again, it is a good draft for the Titans to have needs, and not knowing what they're going to do in free agency here in a couple of weeks.
Right.
But knowing that receiver, edge pass rusher, cornerback, and even off-ball linebacker, in my opinion. I mean, they have I think they have more holes to fill on the defensive side of the ball than they do the offense. But there are lots of young men that can help them.
Certainly.
It's fascinating you bring up one of those positions, wide receiver. There's one guy that continually comes up. I know we watched him since his NC State days, but Casey Concepcion, what do you make of him as a wide receiver? Is he your Jackson Smith and Jigba type? Is he a one-trick pony early on to develop into a better wide receiver, or is he just a weapon? Because he's viewed as a high pick here.
Right now, yeah, because if you started, I started seeing people that I like and trust and listen to start to mock him towards the bottom of the first round coming into this week. I think the answer can be all of those options, but I think right now it's the latter option. He's an explosive athlete that can help you. He's an X-play type of machine to help you get along. I don't know about how refined his route tree is and those other things, but I know explosion when you see it, and he certainly adds that. In fact, there's a lot of people have him at 32 to the Seattle Seahawks to go with Jackson Smith.
Would make a lot of sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, I think definitely he is someone who can move the chains for you and not just in a methodical way.
He and Zachariah Branch are so interesting to me in similar molds at wide receiver. And Branch, I believe, was 50 on Daniel Jeremiah's new top 50 prospects list that came out of NFL.com the other day. I saw somebody on Twitter yesterday, analysts say that 51% of the routes run by Zachariah Branch in 2025 at Georgia were screens.
Solid.
That is a big percentage of just, all right, here's the football, have fun.
Yeah.
Try to tackle him.
And think about it, he had 81 catches in that system.
Right. And so that to me is a yellow flag. It's not a red flag. And that's, again, where we don't have the entire information in this process. When coaches and executives and teams will sit in a meeting with Zachariah Branch, understanding his willingness to be open to learning other things. Did you learn how to do other things within the offense? And they just decided, no, this is the best way for Georgia football to be successful with you this year, so this is how we're going to deploy you. Or is it as simple as when you get to the pro day or you meet with him, he's never been taught to run certain types of routes, or he's not as well-rounded of a wide receiver. That is where we are taking the facts, and it's always the disclaimer I give on draft coverage is choose your own adventure, right?
Yeah.
There's so many different ways we can spin many of this analysis, and the teams in the meetings that are going till midnight are getting what they feel like are truer answers to a lot of those questions. So,
absolutely.
The one guy I did want to bring up, and we talked with Trevor Sikkema about this yesterday
Pro
as well.
Football Focus.
That's right.
Yes.
He told us, Rhett, that this is a good year to need a big boundary, physical X receiver. And Malachi Fields at Notre Dame, to me, is someone that I am starting to grow to like and think makes a lot of sense for the Titans with that second-round pick. Right around 17.5 yards per reception last season. His average depth of target and where he was being targeted down the field was 16.4 yards last season, according to PFF. I believe that was top 50 among all receivers in college football. So not only is the yards per reception number high and similar to what Alec Pierce has been over his career
18.7
Indianapolis Colt, exactly. He's getting that through the air by, like a power forward, posting up defensive backs along the sideline and along the outside of the field. And I think that is something that Rhett is so valuable for the Titans to find in this draft is a deep threat, vertical route wide receiver that can help Cam Ward throw deep balls accurately and make those plays click this season.
All right, so I'm glad you brought this up because, first of all, when we talked to a lot of the pundits yesterday, they mentioned Malachi Fields unsolicited. That's a guy that really helped himself in Mobile the week of the Senior Bowl. And the other thing that Malachi Fields brings to the table, especially with the Titans wanting to continue to improve the run game, is he is an excellent blocker. In fact, some of these guys, and there's a group of big receivers, and I don't know that Carnell Tate is one of those because he's going to ring in around 6'3" this week. He obviously could be an option at 4 if you decided to go that. Carnell Tate, very low drop rate, excellent blocker himself, creates separation all the time, is a combat type catcher, just like you mentioned with Malachi Fields. The other one in the first-round conversation is Denzel Boston.
Yeah.
David Boston's son, who played at University of Washington. He'll ring in around 6'4", 218 pounds. Excellent blocker, combat catcher. Jacoby Lane from Southern Cal is a name that you will hear. However, he is a little more inconsistent in what the film shows. He will be probably a later pick in this draft. But again, a guy that will ring in at 6'4" and 200-plus pounds. But there's a group there. And look, Ramon knows this too well. With 7-on-7 football, there's a pipeline of stuff every year, and there are all kinds of receivers in almost every draft, and the same goes for this one. There's slot receivers, there's little guys, there's, as Mac would say, gadget guys.
That's right.
There's big combat catcher guys.
Yeah.
It's just what you want and what you're looking for that fits your scheme and what you're trying to do.
No doubt. There's a good bit of talent in this thing, Rhett. When you look at the wide receiver position, is there anybody that you see that will have star, I guess, a star label attached to him? Like, is Carnell Tate that when you're trying to justify taking guys top 5 overall, or how do you view this situation of this body of guys? And as you mentioned, it's another meat and potatoes type of draft.
Well, let's say this. I mean, I don't think you could go wrong with Carnell Tate at 4.
I agree.
It's a little more questionable if you're talking Jordan Tyson at 4, just because the medical checks are going to be super important for him this week. 2 or 3 years ago at Colorado, he tore his ACL, MCL, PCL.
Jeez.
And then in 2025, he had a hamstring issue. He had a collarbone issue. Soft tissue is the thing that we hear with him. He clearly has talent, and he's an explosive player. But how available is he? Mekhi Lemon has been one of my favorites out of this block of players just because he's a good football player and he catches the doggone football. He's a Blitnikoff Award winner, right?
Right.
But when you start thinking about those, and I think the other part of this, and I don't know how teams evaluate this or general managers and their staffs with an eye on the future, because some of those scouts are looking at 2027 guys already. And my gosh, the wide receiver class next year,
is crazy.
I think that is where you go,
Yeah.
okay, blue chip, because you're talking about Jeremiah Smith. I mean, there's about a half dozen guys. You're like, whoa, wait a minute.
And I talked to somebody, Ramon, last night who told me that he thinks Mike Matthews has a chance to be wide receiver 2 in the NFL draft next season.
Hello.
Really?
Like ahead of Cam Coleman.
Wow.
surprised me a little bit. But
Hello.
Somebody told me that last night. I was like, okay, well, interesting. That's good to know.
I think to answer your question in a long-winded answer, Ramon, I don't know that there's that many blue chippers at the receiver position. I think there's some really good receivers in that what's going to be in that first tier, first pod on people's draft boards.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on who the draft board and the team is as to whether it's a Mekhi Limit, a Jordan Tyson, or a Carnell Tate. I think there's going to be a little bit of a variance of opinion there. Now, if we're talking the 2027 draft, we might be talking about a whole different thing because, gosh, there's some potential studs littered through that thing.
And to go back to that point, Rhett, I was having a conversation yesterday where somebody was like, you guys are kind of in the old Bengals kind of conversation, right? Do you go Jamar Chase or do you go get a big guy? The thing is, though, I think the Titans are more in the 2021 Bengals conversation, or 2020, excuse me, than they are 2021. I think they're a year ahead of that because they had to go get T. Higgins first at the top of the second round in 2020 to help Joe Burrow. Now, obviously, the Titans aren't going to go draft a quarterback this year with their first-round pick, so that's where the analogy kind of falls apart. But
that's
in that,
a good thing, too, by the way.
100%. 100%. I'd rather have Arlington high school guys than maybe the Westview high school guy here because I'm good with Cam Ward, obviously. Kenneth Walker, by the way, also Arlington High School. So Jake Golday and Kenneth Walker, both
there we go.
I got sidetracked. But anyway, that I think would be the ideal scenario here for the Titans is you go get a big guy and a trench monster on defense with the 4th overall pick. You go get your T. Higgins this year, and then you go after your Jamar Chase next year.
Wow.
I like your plan.
One guy. Go ahead.
Truth be known, I mean, Ramon, I don't think you disagree with this. I think you've got your number 3 and number 4 receiver in Ellick and in Chins.
Yep.
You need a 2-and-1.
Yeah, you do.
You need a 2-and-1. And I'm not trying to slight Calvin Ridley at all because I think if we're being honest, and we've said this before, Calvin Ridley is the number 1 under the current phase of Tennessee Titans roster-wise. He's probably a 2 somewhere else, maybe even a 3 in some spots, depending on where you're going, where they're loaded with wide receiver talent.
No doubt about it. Ray, how you feel about Chris Bell real quick, man, before we have to release you into the wilderness, man?
Here's the thing about Chris Bell. Chris Bell would measure – he would be like, yep, you built him on Madden in the lab, right? But the problem is he had that ACL late in the season. Yeah. And so you're looking at basically like a red shirt year for him. I think had he not have that, we would have him mentioned at least in the bottom of that first pot of receivers that we've been discussing for the last few minutes. I think there are teams who like him, but they don't like the ACL injury and recovery.
And late ACL injury, too. That's late in the season, like you mentioned, right. Rhett Bryan is the executive producer of Titans Radio, and, of course, he is the executive producer of Rhett Bryan, joining us this morning here.
You can find me online at rhettbryan.com. No, that's on GoDaddy. I have a reply for you.
Still available.
Yes.
Having a good time here at the NFL Combine. Another busy day upcoming, and prep for the 2026 Titans Radio Draft Special continues.
Looking very much forward to speaking to Dane Brugler today, obviously the author of The Beast. And you talk about a guy that works on it year-round. I mean, he's finishing up the last few pages and chapters of this thing that he'll release right before this draft. But he's already working on 2027. I'm always interested to hear what perspective he has and who he likes and what this draft is to him in definition.
Yeah. I always feel like a kid on Christmas when The Beast comes out.
Oh, and yes.
To all of our coworkers who sit at my seat in our studio, yes, I will download it to the desktop in the 104.5 The Zone studios.
I will go a step further and ruin some trees and print the entire
fantastic.
thing.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'm sorry, I'm old school.
Yeah, before you came on, I said, you've got a binder of stuff that is bigger than a lot of Baptist hymnals. And we were going to sing.
You know what? Yeah.
So we're going to sing song 373 of Draft Prep, stanzas 1, 2, and 4.
And if you feel led,
get
drafted,
come on down to the table. We'll have some ushers. We'll have some ushers standing by. I love it. Baked chickens in the crock pot. Rhett Bryan here with us at the table at Indy. Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Biggie,
you, Rhett.
Have a good one. Hold it down
Yes,
back
sir.
there in the field. I'll see you soon.
No doubt about it.
More NFL headlines. A legendary NFL player that may hit the market this offseason. Some surprising news that broke yesterday we'll talk about next.
It's Truck Month at Two Rivers Ford, and that means zero money down, zero financing, and zero payments for 90 days. But only at Two Rivers Ford do you get zero surprises and zero pressure. You see, Two Rivers Ford, they do things a little differently than most dealerships. For starters, they have a non-commissioned sales team. So their salespeople are paid whether you buy a truck or not. So go ahead and ask all the questions, take all the test drives, check out the F-150, the Super Duty, the Maverick, the Ranger. Truck Month is all about you. And at Two Rivers Ford, you'll find the real price online every single time. They don't add a bunch of accessories or add-ons that you don't know about until you get to the dealerships. They pride themselves on honesty and transparency like they have for over 4 decades. And by the way, Two Rivers Ford has one of the best inventories of Ford trucks in the Southeast. There's Ford Truck Month, and then there's Two Rivers Ford Truck Month. So get to the South's most trusted Ford dealer for the best prices of the year on the best-selling truck in America. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Local, honest, real. Two Rivers Ford. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Wrapping up hour 2 in the first half of Wednesday mornings. Ramon and Will, glad you are with us. 615-737-1045, how you jump in. Just saw Easton Freeze popping in. He will be here at 9:20 Central Time this morning. Ramon, there was an interesting report yesterday that surprised me a little bit from Adam Schefter.
What Shefty have, man?
With 5-time All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams scheduled to carry a $39 million cap number this season. He and the 49ers currently are struggling to find a contractual solution, per league sources. If the two sides can't bridge their differences in their standoff, Williams would be expected to join this year's free agent class, making him one of the premier players available. Wow. Do you believe Trent Williams will actually hit the open market, Ramon?
Yeah, I do. I do. Just based on the fact that, like, the 49ers got to consider a few things. Trent is about to be, I think, 36, 37?
He is 37 years old today.
30 today.
Not today.
Oh, yeah.
But like, as of today.
Currently. Yeah,
I should have framed that a lot better.
They got to consider that. Do I think Trent's one of the best to do it still? Absolutely. But the way that team is somewhat set up, like, it hadn't netted them a whole lot as far as being able to run it back year after year. And they run the risk is if they do, you give him a big signing bonus, like, he's been mostly okay as far as injuries go in this league, but I do look at that and say, at what point do you start to deviate up his money and try to build more depth and try to get younger at some point as well? Because I do think they've officially hit that second phase of trying to chase the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy under center. There's only so many more years they got with Christian McCaffrey as well. Like, they got to start planning for the future, and I just can't see them caving that way, although Trent's going to demand it from somebody. Somebody who's in that window is going to give that up.
It's just so hard, to your point, being in a window like that and competing and having that core together and getting worse at left tackle.
Yeah.
That's hard to justify unless you already have someone on your roster you feel like is ready to step up next. The same way that the Titans already had drafted Taylor Lewan when they moved on from Michael Roos. Like, you, in a window like that, want to backfill that position and have someone waiting in the wings ready to be able to go a little bit cheaper there. The question then becomes also, is Brock Purdy the type of quarterback, and is he the kind of athletic profile that is more malleable to kind of overcome cheaper offensive line play, right? Like, he is athletic. He will mask a lot of your deficiencies up front by getting out of pressure and not being, a high pressure to sack ratio player. I don't know. I mean, I just don't think if you are a team that is competing at the level that franchise is, like, they got to figure it out. Like, of all of the things they got to do, I know it's not that simple. And
right.
John Lynch would laugh at me if I said that and he was sitting right here. And, maybe he will be in a minute because everyone just walks through here. But
yeah, they do.
I will believe it when I see it, personally.
Yeah. Do I think Trent Williams is worth it? Yes. Do I think he's worth it for the phase that he's in the current state of the San Francisco 49ers? No. If you're telling me the Buffalo Bills need a guy, which they don't, or one of these strong contenders is a piece away, heck, at this point, Kansas City, which I don't know if they'll pay it. It just have to be a 1-year rental or a short-term 2-year deal to make him happy. Trent, he's with his athleticism and health, he's probably going to play, his body structure as well, he's probably going to play till he's 40. It's just that how you manage your roster and his percentage of the cap that he's taken away in order to make a better team, because Juwan Jennings is up in San Francisco. Brandon Ayuk still has something going on there.
He's not playing there anymore.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's what they're trying to balance right now is that band I don't think is going to be together. Like, Trent, to me, if he's re-signed there, they try to make a deal with him, is selling tickets. I don't think they're selling the idea that they're going to compete for a Super Bowl specifically with the reigning world champions in their division. And you also still have the Rams as a part of it. So they're closer to a reset than they are re-signing Trent, the way I look at this one, on February 25th, and I'll probably be wrong by the middle of March. But that's the way I view it.
Sure. Oh, and two, they will probably try to do what Kansas City has done and what Houston just did with the Laramie Tunsil trade. Like, how do you reset maybe the second or third most important position in football while competing for championships. Because if you draft a tackle, again, as you always tell us, it's a 3-year process for that tackle to become the best version of himself. If you go sign one, again, premium position, there's a reason why that guy became available, and you're going to have to pay him. And if you're going to have to pay somebody, then why don't you just pay Trent Williams? So, again, you're probably looking at, again, backfilling, drafting, finding someone that can do the job at a much cheaper salary cap amount and hoping your quarterback's athletic enough to make up the difference.
Yeah. And Brock Purdy has proven that. Like I said, and we talked about this while they were on their playoff run. That offense is set up and structured in a way that you somewhat hide the protection from time to time, as much as they move and manipulate the pocket as well. I'm not saying it's going to be. It is in no way easy to replace Trent Williams, but the business side of how they need to operate moving forward is, to your point, like they got to start planning what's next. It's only so many reps that a 38-year-old offensive lineman is going to have in him as well. I say that, but Lane Johnson is also committed to come back and play for the Eagles as well.
Right.
Their health has been good. But I do view the window and say, as far as the 49ers go, to me, it personally makes sense. And if they could find a middle ground, which if I'm Trent, I'm not asking for a middle ground. He is top 3 still at left tackle in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Linebackers speaking across the convention hall. Rhett Bryan just mentioned that he will head over there and see what's going on. So we'll report back anything we hear that's significant from those availabilities. Arvell Reese says he will run the 40 and participate in linebacker and edge drills, Ramon, here at the Combine.
Wow.
So Ohio State do-it-all defensive standout is going to be a very busy man.
I'm going 4-4, probably low 4-4.
Whew. See, all right. Is my trade thing realistic on that? Like, I want him to test off the charts.
Yeah.
That way there is maybe someone that says, with the 4th overall pick, I'll come up and give you a 2 if you swap with me, and I can come take Arvell Reese.
No doubt. But yeah,
Okay.
I see that.
Or a future one. You go get you're more ammo to get your wide receiver 1 in 2027.
Absolutely. Like he to me is that good of an athlete. It's a matter of where do you find him, and you got to have a team that's in a position that they feel like he's an immediate impact for him as well. That's what you're running into. Who's behind the Titans that you feel like are going to want to take his talents? But running a 4-4 do it, most definitely will. He seems to me like a Cleveland guy. I mean, Washington is the defensive head coach, always can use him.
That was my thought as well.
If Bobby Wagner's not going to be there, or if he retires himself.
Right. No, I agree.
Ooh,
I
you know who's another one?
Who's that?
Cincinnati, considering what their draft pick's looking like from last year with Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, that's fair. And they need everything they can get on defense. I mean, they need someone who is, versatile enough to do a couple of different things. I do think that even if it's not a trade kind of pot sweetener for the Titans, even if someone isn't going to move up to 4 because Arvell Reese is available, if he does test off the charts and goes 2 to the Jets or goes 3 to the Cardinals, that's one more edge that is probably a better fit for your defense, for the Robert Saleh scheme, than Reese is. So that's good news for you as well, to say that someone who's probably a better fit. I think that conversation, Ramon, is so interesting on Arvell Reese as it pertains to a 4-3 defense in Tennessee for someone who played 97 snaps as a pass rusher last season. That's not necessarily the best scheme fit for the Titans. However, if you believe, again, like we talked about with Jeremiah Love, that Arvell Reese is the best available football player and he's available there for you to pick with the number 4 overall pick, you probably change some of what you do because you have that player on your team. That is the balance that all these coaches and GMs are trying to find.
No doubt, and all of this is a crapshoot, to be quite honest with you as well. Like trying to find
especially
out,
for us, because
a player can be good, he just might not be good for your team, and it sucks that you got to find that out in real time.
Right, and for us, we're even a flying blinder because we're not in the meetings with these players. So for them, it's a crapshoot, and they have more info than we do.
They do. Yeah. It's real quick. Do you think that Ruben Bain would be a letdown of a pick, which as much as we're speaking about everybody else?
No. If I was making the pick today, and there's a reason why we don't do that, but like if I had to guess today, Ruben Bain Jr. for the Titans is my leader in the clubhouse.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at this point. Like, I think it makes so much sense for the scheme, for the mentality, for what I know about Ruben Bain Jr. as a prospect, as a player, as a person, and from what Robert Saleh said about him yesterday, which maybe we can grab here for the third hour. I just think it's a really good fit, Ramon. Okay. I really do.
Gotcha.
I really do.
I'm here for it.
615-737-1045. We've got some Athletes Unlimited tickets to give away when we come back. It is Winning Wednesday on 1045 The Zone, so we will get that for you coming up here in just a few. Plus, Ramon, an AFC general manager, had advice for Cam Ward yesterday on working with Brian Dable. Some interesting stuff here from the NFL Combine that you'll hear coming up next.
Synergex and Low T Center have been highlighted for having the highest quality testosterone on the market. They only use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone, never the compounded testosterone, so you know what's going in your body. Don't settle for compounded mystery testosterone. Go with the safer, smoother TRT with real human providers at Synergex and at Low T Center. They dose their TRT more frequently than most other clinics and make sure your testosterone levels are always optimal and don't dip below the baseline that you want or they set for you as well. They keep your TRT smooth and keep side effects in check. They also stay on top of your health with regular medical testing so you can make sure your TRT is always safe. Again, they do the labs where they pull your blood, they spin it, they let you know what your levels are. They give you a full, honestly, medical breakdown as well. This is one of those situations where you just go and let them take care of you because they do a really good job at it as well. It's simple. Go to one of the sites around the city or simply go to getmyhealthfix.com. Again, the website is getmyhealthfix.com, and make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
8:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Nashville SC advances to the round of 16 in the CONCACAF Champions Cup after beating Atletico Ottawa last night 5-0 at Geodis Park. Nashville will now face Inter Miami in the next round in a home and away series that is also decided on aggregate. The first leg will be played here in Nashville coming up on March 11th. Last night, Tennessee Vols basketball had 15 turnovers and lost 73-69 to Missouri. Tigers guards T.O. Barrett and Mark Mitchell combined for 50 points in the win. The Vols dropped to 28 on the season and 10-5 in SEC play. In NFL news this morning out of the Combine, Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese told reporters this morning he plans on running the 40-yard dash and taking part in both linebacker and edge drills coming up this week in Indianapolis. And yesterday, Jets general manager Darren Mogi told reporters yesterday that they are ready to use the franchise tag on running back Breece Hall if they cannot reach a deal by the deadline for franchise or transition tags on March 3rd. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show getting started on Wednesday in Indy. Good morning. Glad you are with us from the table at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. I'm Will Bowling. Back in our 104.5 The Zone studios, the 11-year NFL vet and Vol Network analyst, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins making the show happen. 615-737-1045. How you jump in. Ramon, let's give the people some tickets, shall we?
Let's do it, man. Especially if they free to them, no doubt.
Absolutely they are. Winning Wednesday on 104.5 The Zone with Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball as it comes to Nashville's Municipal Auditorium for Season 5 now through March 1st, which means that you got to get there this weekend through March 1st. That is next week. Be caller number 5 right now to win 2 tickets to see games 23 and 24 this Sunday at Nashville Municipal Auditorium. 615-737-1045. See the final games this weekend featuring top talent including Alicia Clark, Tina Charles, Anisha Morrow, Tahina Pow Pow, and many more. 2 tickets. Games 23 and 24. I always get a smile out of Ramon on Tahina Pow Pow. 615-737-1045, and best of luck. Justin, if we're able to still play this audio while you take calls, let's do this real quick. Brandon Beane, Bills GM, Ramon, with some advice for Cam Ward. I thought this was interesting yesterday.
Those two click because, you know, Josh has thick skin, and we've seen Brian. Like Brian, he's from Buffalo. He's blue collar. He's going to let you know that he loves you, and he's also going to let you know that you screwed up. And so I think that's why Brian and Josh really connected and you know, was a big part of Josh's early ascension as a Bill to where he's at. And I know they have a fond, you know, their fond relationship continued even as Brian went to New York, and I'm sure it'll continue now that Brian's in Tennessee. But I'm sure you're asking because of Cam Ward or whatever. And I think Brian's he'll be a great asset for Cam. I would tell him to make sure you got thick skin, and it's all coming from a good place. But Brian's very smart, and if Cam Ward will listen, he'll develop him.
Bills GM Brandon Beane speaking yesterday. Hat tip to Teron Davenport on the question and on the video on his Twitter. Beat writer covering the Titans for ESPN and ESPN.com. But Ramon, right at the very beginning, he says the reason why Brian Dable and Josh Allen got along so well was Josh had really thick skin. I think that probably is a trait shared by Cam Ward, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I do. That's one of the things I think is the most noticeable about him is his ability to persevere and move on. Looking at his journey, you know, through his football world has been a lot of adversity that he's kind of managed. You don't go from being at all the different schools and playing yourself up to the level that he did without that mental toughness and thick skin that you need in almost every sport, but specifically in football and especially at the quarterback position. So hearing their GM speak about Brian Dable like that and that being his first, requirement is thick skin, this should be a great relationship between he and Brian Dable.
I think it's a perfect fit of personalities. Not a guarantee it's going to be like the best offense ever and it's going to immediately click. And
Yeah.
They still got to rebuild this roster up, and I think all those things are fair talking points. But, Ramon, I don't know if I could pick a better person for the energy and for the personality of Cam Ward than Brian Dable. I think they are cut from the exact same cloth.
And not only just that, we need to go ahead on checking the date on Wednesday, February the 25th of 2026, and already expect, Will and listeners, there's going to be some arguing on the sideline. There going to be
said
some.
That like I was in trouble.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
This is for everybody. Like, they will go at each other in the way Coach Saleh said at the beginning of his press conferences, with respect. Without being disrespectful to one another. And this is a good, healthy thing, I think, for Cam. And I know we're going to get more into this conversation. You played the audio earlier about how Robert Saleh and his staff is going to attack Cam, not attack Cam, attack his development. It's starting him back over at square one. And I think he's got the best guy for this. And just looking at the optics as far as Brian Dable's concerned, the way he was trying to curate as much as he possibly could Jackson Dart last year. So much so that he got himself a fine by trying to go into the blue tent to get him out because of how he had poured into him and the expectations that Jackson Dart was able to meet with Brian Dable last year before he got fired. I think that's important to note is Dable's going to attack this as if it's probably him playing quarterback. That seems to me the way he go about developing his guys. He's very passionate about it as well. And as long as Cam, and this is the biggest point that Brian Bean was mentioning. Brandon Bean. As long as Cam can understand there's a method to the madness, and this is bigger than just this year, it is for your career, I think the success is on his end. I do wonder, though, Will, as I continue on this dialogue, I do wonder how much is that development and tough skin and listening to Brian Dable is going to be hard for Cam. Meaning,
I think so.
His side, the way he moves outside of the pocket and improv, how much of that is going to be allowed as they learn each other and grow?
That's a great point. Like, where, if you're Brian Dable, do you set boundaries for Cam's creation?
Yeah.
Like, where does the script begin or end to where this is off-script playmaking that we are good with? And then what are we not good with? Where do we not want to take those unnecessary risks, right?
That's where I'm standing at. And I'm glad they're getting out in front of it again, the coach and stuff, because there's a lot weighing on this pick, Cam, that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a lot of this community want to see it. The validation that the Tennessee Titans need to have a face.
A lot of jobs are riding on.
Oh, my gosh. Come on, Will.
In the building, yeah, for sure.
For at least Robert Saleh's concerned, Cam's success is correlated directly with his head coaching tenure, right? Like, a lot of, Mike McCarthy just got a third time around the sun as far as being a head coach in Pittsburgh. But it ain't many coaches that get this many opportunities, and especially in the same reset that the Titans are in that the Jets were. Like, you got to be a little bit different this time around.
At Ramona Will, we asked you earlier in the show, based off of our Hour 1 discussion, drafting Jeremiah Love for the Titans at 4 would be a good idea or bad idea. 30% of you think it's a good idea. 70% say bad. That shocks me, Ramon, considering the amount of people we have in our YouTube chat every morning who are just all in on Jeremiah Love to the Titans at 4.
Wow.
I just think of people who want him, love him.
No doubt.
And for good reason. There's a lot to love about him as a prospect and as a fun player. We got a tweet as well at Ramon and Will. Jacob writes in and says, I can't say good or bad, but it would be a fun idea. Great way to put it.
Well, here's the thing, too, and I meant to mention this to you earlier, but looking back, one of the greatest moments or picks for the Titans, I think, absolutely ruined what the NFL draft is for for running backs, though, too. And I think that's the only issue that you're going to have with trying to justify drafting Jeremiah Love is that 2008 class, because from that class right there, Will, nothing else happened in volume at the running back position. That class was Darren McFadden, Jonathan Stewart, Felix Jones, Rashad Mendenhall, and Chris Johnson in the 2008 class. Only one of those guys popped, and that was Chris Johnson at 24.
Yep.
There was no other class that had this volume of numbers. And even in 09, no Sean Marino, Donald Brown, Beanie Wells.
Yeah. I thought about that name in a long time.
I know. But these drafts, as far as picking high first-rounders per se, has kind of ruined, I think, the way the fans view that position. And I will even add to the fact, probably GMs and coaches. I will be transparent with you. Post Le'Veon, or how we went about that situation where he held Le'Veon Bell when he held out, and then we played the season, and then there was another year of holdout, and then there was the birth of James Conner. Like, James Conner made the Pro Bowl the next year with us as his offensive line. And there's a balance I think coaches and GMs are trying to find when it comes down to how do you view running backs. To your point you made earlier about Jeremiah Love and the poll that we're speaking about right now, like, legitimately, you're right. If you're picking that high at that position, running back, you bet not miss.
It's got to be Saquon.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. And if you're just now waking up and joining us, we talked about it. Like, how many of the teams that have gone running back that high have had team success? Not many.
Not many.
Most of them have had good running backs, been good players. That hasn't resulted in wins. And going back to when the Titans moved on from Derrick Henry, like, that was the discussion on Derrick was he started to become less valuable here when his 100-yard games stopped equating to victories. Yeah. Like, you started to lose games where Derrick was getting 100 yards and pulled back and said, all right, wait a minute. We've got a really good player. Mm-hmm. We're not maximizing his ability to help us win football games. How can we change the profile of that position? Because we need somebody who's on the field on 3rd down and 6, who can catch an angle route for a first down. And Derrick was just on the sideline so much. Like, that is essentially what you are risking by taking Jeremiah Love. And I know not the same profile of running back, and he is someone who would be on the field for those 3rd downs. But you are taking away a lot of his skill set in running the football if you don't bolster this defense and have edge rusher help and have a defense that can keep you in games. And if you're chasing leads and chasing games, well, you don't get to run the football very much because you got to throw to get back in it. And then all of a sudden you're taking away half of what Jeremiah Love does. So you better believe that he's got that Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley level of impact through every phase of your offensive game plan if you're going to draft him. And they may believe that. Yeah. It's on the table. It's just, that's a really, really, really high bar to cross.
And here's the point. I like Jeremiah Love, and I know a lot of his fan base does too. But to solidify your point about this team having to be ready for a guy like him, though, too. So Saquon got to the Giants in 2018. Pat Shermer was the head coach. Okay, I'll just go real quick. He stayed it up until 23. So in 18, it'll go 18 up to 23. They were 5-11 in 18. They were 4-12 in 19. They were 6-10 in 2020 with Joe Judge as the head coach. 2021, they were 4-13. 2022, hey, first year of Brian Dable, they were 9-7-1. And then Saquon's last year in 2023 with the Giants, to your point, they were 6-11.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Dynamic. He was.
Yeah, he was great. He's also hurt for some of those years, which, again, like, that's the risk you take when you have that position that is such a bell cow and such a foundational piece of your offense. That's why, again, that I don't know, like, the Derrick Henry, those guys don't come around very often.
And
Derrick Henry's.
Real quick, too, in that time, he got Offensive Rookie of the Year and 2 Pro Bowls, and that's it with the Giants.
615-737-1045 is our number. Highlights from Robert Saleh's meeting with the media yesterday, talking about Cam Ward's offseason plan and a note on Tavandre Sweat, which was interesting yesterday. We'll dive into that coming up next. One of the most stressful things that you can do right now is move. Trying to figure out how to get the best value for your home, trying to maybe get into that new spot quickly. Maybe you have been forced into a move because of a new job and you need peace of mind. You need a quick process. You need my good friend Bernie Gallerani of Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Don't rely on that national agent that doesn't know you, doesn't know the neighborhood, or doesn't even care about your goals. You got to get Bernie Gallerani on your team because he guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. Yeah, there's no risk to you. He is the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee, or he will buy it from you. There's no gimmicks here. He really means it. Bernie is authentic as it gets. When I met him for the first time, you could tell his heart for helping Middle Tennesseans is genuine. He's so confident about his ability to help you. He's giving out his personal cell phone number for you to contact him, 615-428-2644. You can head online, learn more about him there at BernieGallerani.com, 615-428-2644. That's Bernie Gallerani Real Estate online at BernieGallerani.com. Ramona Will at 104.5 The Zone continues from Indianapolis at the NFL Combine. Ramon in Nashville. I'm here at the table where Ramona, Ron Saleh is definitely related to you because he just in the F&M Bank chat had the exact same takeaway about where I am that you did when we first started the show this morning. Saleh in the F&M Bank chat on YouTube says, Will Lee got that penitentiary backdrop. I like it. That is incredible because that's exactly what you told me. Look, when Buck Rising gets here, he will have people fanning him with big feathers. They'll be feeding him grapes. He'll have anything he needs. I do think it's funny, by the way. He went to Bloomington last night to see Indiana lose to Northwestern in person in basketball. That brings joy to my cold heart, Ramon. But no, I'm here by myself. I turn on the equipment by myself. Kirby Allen Kirby cannot be bothered to come help me. I am a one-man band, so I don't know how to connect the tripod together. And so we're working with laptop, Zoom, and a cinder block wall behind me is what we got.
Hey, let's go. Savage picked it up quick, man. So you out here like Old Dominion, huh? The country band, one-man band. Where the heck is the crew at? Getting Gatorade and IVs and stuff?
No, I'm not important enough to have their help. Robert Walsh, I will say, is helping me via text try to get this together. I'm kidding, obviously. I'm not actually blaming anyone for not being here. They all have things to do as well. But yes, it does look like I could be anywhere in the world. Who's to say if I'm even in Indianapolis?
You could be held hostage right now. Like, if you told me there was somebody on the other side of the table that had a ransom letter, I'd believe you is what I'm telling you. But it's just big convention vibes is what it is. And as Savage said, them penitentiary walls, Will, you on lockdown. You Akon right now. You locked up.
I'm not in solitary, but yes, I am. Later we're going to have rec time outside. And maybe I'll go, I don't know, I'll go outside. I did go outside yesterday, Ramon. That was a headline from the Combine.
You did go outside.
Went outside for the first time in like 36 hours.
Is it what I thought it was? Cold and windy
and cloudy. Yeah, no,
Yep.
I don't know. These people don't see the sun, Ramon. It's crazy. It's legitimately insane to me. But anyway, I'm soft.
Are they Midwest, Indy?
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
are.
for sure. I'd say so.
Yeah, that's tough sledding right there, man. A tots and pears to you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Really working hard. Not really. We're talking about football. What
We are.
really is the worst that it could be. Let's talk about what Robert Saleh said yesterday, Ramon. Speaking about Cam Ward over at the podium, you liked this a lot on Saleh's plan for getting Cam Ward ready for his second season as the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. This was Saleh speaking yesterday.
For Cam, it's always going to come down to, I said it before, we're going to take him back to his rookie year, just to square one. You know, a lot of these rookies, when they get in when they join the team, you're already halfway through phase 2, and you're kind of playing. You're in a sprint to try to get them ready for training camp and for week 1. We can kind of take more of a marathon approach with them, where we've got phase 1, we've got phase 2, we've got different ways we can approach them between now and week 1 to get them prepared. So just taking those baby steps, learning everything it takes to be a quarterback, not just on the field but off the field. So again, just him being his best and getting better every single day will be good enough.
How do you assess the state of the AFC South? More about
one thing I appreciate, he's in there every day, he's working out, but I don't think there's a day that he goes by without popping in, saying hello. I think he knows everybody in the building's name, which I think is impressive for a young quarterback, for a young man just in general. He's very personable. It is very important to him. That building is very, very, very important to him, and you can tell that he wants to lead it, and he's learning every single day what it takes to be a leader. And there's no doubt, I've said it before, a man who's built the way he is, who's wired the way he is, who works the way he does, it's very rare that those people don't find success. So we're excited to get to work with him.
That's Robert Saleh yesterday. Ramon, what do you like so much about what he has to say there?
I hate, and you know this to be real with you, I'm gonna get to the point. I hate the old stock coach speak and just like lie to me either real good or just give me the truth in very simple terms with not a whole lot of information. I felt like Robert Saleh did the latter. He gave you the truth with not a whole lot of complications to it. And he gave, I think, people that was listening to it and understand what that world is for a rookie. Let's just start with a rookie going into an NFL team / locker room. He's right. You are in the second phase. By the time you show up, you're about like maybe a week or two away from OTAs and being on the field practicing and stuff like that. So that's why I give grace to rookies going into that rookie year, because it's by far the most tired and busy you'll ever be in your football career, your sports career in general. He just finished the season in December of that year, of his senior year from Miami. He hits the draft, and you're training the entire time. You go to the combine. You go to these trips that you have to, and then you got drafted. And then next thing you know, when everything settles, you got to go and play football. You never really have time to learn and grow. So any rookie that's doing either really well or really bad is probably somewhere in the middle on where they should be. And I think that's where Cam is. Like Robert Saleh said it, head coach Robert Saleh said it, like he hit the ground running, and that's what he had to deal with last year. They're not assuming with Cam. They're not thinking that he's going to be an all-star just because they're coaching him. I love the fact that they said, we're breaking this thing down, because if I ask almost any fan, and I know they're going to be petty when I say this, but what can you tell me that Cam learned from Coach Brian Callahan and his staff last year that he should hold on to? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah. I think there's some truth in that. I mean, I do think he learned to use his legs and athleticism better the back half of the season, and completed more passes and was just overall a better quarterback. But is there one coaching point or one thing specifically that he takes away? I don't know that there's much, honestly. Like it really does feel like you're starting over in a lot of ways. Yeah. What I'm curious on, Ramon, is the difference between training for the combine and training as a year 2 pro getting ready for the second season. Like, what was that routine like for you as going into your rookie year? You were probably doing a lot of different things to get ready to do drills and to run well and to impress scouts here. Yeah. Then you were actually getting ready to play football, right?
Yep, it was. That is a big you're trying to appease 32 different teams, basically, at the combine and in the draft process, and you don't know which ones are going to like until you pick. So that's the difference right there, is trying to see that if you belong. Once you find out you belong, that second year, which Cam is about to go to, and a lot of those other rookies as well, Femi included, this is, I'm on the job now. That's when I think if you're a smart young pro, you recognize this is a job, and how can I minimize the mistakes I made last year and get a better understanding of what this league is about and how I approach it as well. I never forget, going into that second year, I felt like I knew what I was doing instead of guessing at, okay, I think we have a slip block right here on the offensive line. I think we are going to the left on this play. It wasn't a bunch of I thinks. It was, now I can really sharpen my mind into understanding what the concept of this play is and executing it. That's the other part I think that we don't get as far as spectators of the game sometimes, is the physical side and athleticism is what comes natural to you. It's how much can you mentally execute each play, each day, every season to make yourself a better player. And that's why I think Cam and the rest of this rookie class need to be, specifically Cam, because Coach Robert Saleh spoke about him. It's not hit the ground running. It is, this is why I take this step. This is why the ball goes here. And that's where I don't think he had the ability to get last year. You remember when we spoke about this with Levis? When Callahan got him. I was saying it then. It was too much too soon for Will Levis just to be airing the ball out. It probably led to Will Levis's failure more than almost anything else. And I think if you look at these two approaches between Coach Saleh and Coach Callahan, with two quarterbacks in their second years, Saleh's telling you, we're going back to step one. Whereas I feel like Levis just hit the ground running again.
It highlighted his biggest weaknesses, too. Levis's.
Yes.
It highlighted his red flags, which was unnecessary risk-taking, and, I mean, we know it. He just gave the football away.
Showtime.
And Cam Ward has some of the same weaknesses. They just pop up to me in different ways. Mm-hmm. To me, it's less interceptions and more about taking too many unnecessary hits and fumbling the football. That's kind of his version of picks, because I think if you just box score scout Cam Ward and look at the interception numbers, you think, oh, all right, he took care of the football. Then you look at the fumble numbers and say, uh-oh. And, I mean, the same could be said for Drake May last season. I think it's the difference between Drake May winning or not winning MVP, to be quite honest with you, is a lot of the fumbles.
It is, and that's why I like the approach of slowing it down. I don't think players get enough of that from coaches, to be quite honest with you, because they're constantly trying to progress. They're constantly trying to see what's the winning edge.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I said it earlier when we brought it up lightly. It looks to me that this staff is just, I saw Hawk the other day, just locking their talons in and just not wavering whatsoever.
You see Jayhawk every day.
That's what I do see Jayhawk
Hello.
every day. There he is. There go our
Locking
dog.
your talons in.
But that's the feelings. Those are the feelings I got from hearing him mention that yesterday. Is we're here to make him a better football player. Because, like I said, his job depends on it, Robert Saleh, even though he's a defensive head coach.
Right. Totally. No, I agree, and I think Robert Saleh understands from what he said in his introductory press conference that the best way to get the most out of Cam is by not asking him to be Superman.
Bro.
That's the important thing at this point. So I certainly think this staff gets that. I do think they also understand that there is a role for Tavandre Sweat in this defense, and it's one of the most interesting things about, I think, this football team, and it's one of the most interesting fits in the new scheme. How Tavandre Sweat does or doesn't take advantage of this reset for himself. Robert Saleh was asked about him yesterday and had this to say.
You know, we had a guy in 2000, I want to say 20, I think it was 23, maybe 22, Al Woods, who was just as big, just as fast, just as fleet of foot. You know, obviously it's going to be we're going to ask things of him that are different than what he's done in the past. But one thing he has shown on tape is he can get numbers, which we need our D-line to be able to do. They need to be able to run, and that is something that he can do. He's a big man. He's got much faster feet than people realize. Is it going to be easy for him? It's not. It is a lot of work. It is physically demanding to play D-line in our system. But I do think he's up to the task. I've had great conversations with him, and I'm excited to see him get to work.
Ramon, you know Al Woods.
I do. That's my guy.
You would have played against him as well?
Played against him and with him in Pittsburgh.
I was going to say, okay, so you've also, the most you played against him is probably on the practice field.
yeah, for the most part. Yep, it was.
Obviously not at full speed, but someone you know very well. Do you like the comparison, first of all, to Al Woods?
I do. Big man, big athlete. Al Woods, former LSU prospect, man, came out. I think he was here for a quick cup of coffee with the Titans as well.
He was. Yep.
Came large, human being.
The biggest?
The largest, yes. And yes, to your point, Tavandre does remind me of him because you see him, you're just like, damn. And then you see him, and I say that Al and I are probably about the same size. He just looks like a defensive lineman. But what Al Woods would do is exactly as he said. He pushed himself. He demanded more of himself. He wanted to show that I'm big and I can be out here for 3 downs if you need me to be, and it benefited him, man. I saw coaches get on him about that same stuff. Coach John Mitchell up in Pittsburgh would get on him about hustling to the ball, going after. And Al made himself a real good career. Al recently just retired not even that long ago, and I think he was a year or 2 after me coming into the league. So, yes, Coach Saleh has dealt with this before, and I love as well the way he's saying it up front. Like we say this all the time. Coaches coach through the media. He just did.
Yeah, he just gave the answer.
He did. He said playing D-line in this system is physically demanding. There has been questions about Tavandre Sweat's will and want to and constant drive, either from the media or speculation or just when you look at him and his size, right? This defense is going to test his career. It is. The smartest thing that he's done is gone to, Dallas with Jeff?
Uh-huh.
Smartest thing he's done in his career thus far is go to Dallas with Jeff.
And it sounds like Jeff is adamant about being a big brother to Tavandre Sweat this offseason. And look, this is why you keep Jeffrey Simmons on the football team.
Yeah, I get it.
This is why trading him this past season at the trade deadline never made sense. this is the value beyond 11 sacks that you get. And it is someone that is willing to take a younger player under their wing and say, I just remade my NFL career in an offseason by a lot of the work that I did. Let's go do it together.
Yeah.
And let me help you do the exact same thing. And, I mean, Rand Carthon said it when he drafted him. God didn't make a lot of humans like Tavandre Sweat.
This is true.
And if you tap into the potential that he can bring you, all of a sudden you are having a very different conversation about this defensive front. You're having a very different conversation about the way this team can stop the run. All of a sudden this defense gets a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
He is, I think, Ramon, one of the most valuable players and one of the X factors of this defense as we move into 2026. He can make life easier for whoever you bring in an edge rusher, whether you go cheaper or bring in a free agent or draft Ruben Bain, whoever it is. Like, that guy benefits a lot from a healthy and productive Tavandre Sweat.
You know what was detrimental to Tavandre Sweat, though, as well, as we kind of wrap up this one?
Yeah.
Coach Saleh's already got a type that he's comping them to. Al Woods. To Tavandre saying, I can't, I never did, or this don't feel right. Brother, it's going to be a long offseason if he walks in that building and is not in shape and ready to go, because Saleh's already got guys that have done this at his size.
Yeah, that's a great point. 615-737-1045, how you jump in. What did Robert Saleh say about Ruben Bain Jr. yesterday? We'll react to more of that as we wrap up Hour 3 next. Wrapping up hour number 3 on Ramon and Will from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. So Robert Saleh spoke yesterday, Ramon, and he was asked about arm length. Why does arm length matter? Well, that's because the edge rusher that many believe is a perfect fit for the Titans, Ruben Bain Jr., has very short arms. Here is Saleh yesterday emphasizing how much arm length matters for guys in his defensive line.
Arm length is always going to be key, especially with a team like us that plays more of a zone style. Those long arms close up passing windows and do all the different things that we ask them to do. But so it's really every position. Arm length is always a big deal.
What does it mean? He also, off camera, to a group of reporters, Ramon described Ruben Bain Jr.'s tape as undeniable. Talking on both sides.
I know.
Of the Ruben Bain Jr.
I
debate.
know. What am I supposed to believe, Rob? Like, this is the coach speak right here that I'm getting at, Will. Like, this is where he just feeds you whatever's at the top of his mind, and you just got to believe it, and we'll write articles and discuss it. The young man can ball, Ruben Bain Jr. He just simply can. As I told you, when I did my breakdown on him, and we'll do probably, I know, a little bit more on him moving forward in the future, but it seems to me that he's found ways to adjust to not having long arms if they are that short. Now, the question is, I guess, is how short is too short when it comes to arm length? He has the ability to get off of blocks. I've seen him two-arm engage with offensive linemen and tight end, where there's some instances in which he was rushing, double punched a guy in the middle of his chest and skated off and released to run down a quarterback going to his right, their left, and he didn't have the arm length to get him. Yeah. Did he affect the play just as much and they create negativity? Yes. His tape is more than just the arms, is what I would tell somebody.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that answer from Saleh, though, Will. I don't know how to take it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's probably what he wants, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely what it
is.
There's no probably about it. You want to leave it ambiguous. What made long-armed linemen so hard for you to block in your NFL career?
I got PTSD thinking about this.
Well, we'll go to therapy after we ask about this.
Please, and bring some of the cocktail sauce from St. Elmo's with you.
Okay.
What makes it so hard, Will, is this. If they're big with long arms, like I couldn't grab them. If they could one arm stab me with just the long arm, then me grabbing onto them and trying to square them up made it impossible to do. Those long arms make it also easier for them to start a fight with you and disengage with you as well. There's been situations where I've had guys locked up. As far as blocking them in front of me, the quarterback is probably 2 feet behind me, and they've reaching over trying to grab at the quarterback and stuff like that. It's leverage. I tell kids that I train, like, you got to have violent hands. Well, you can't have violent hands if you got short arms. That way you can't really use them as well. It's a weapon, Will, that I will not underestimate. I won't understate on how important it is. But for me, those guys that engaged with me that had just as long arms, if not longer arms than me, it frustrated you, Will, if that makes sense. It takes honestly, away your game plan.
Sure, and honestly, the thing you bring up there that I think is interesting that I don't know that I've thought of is the element of reaching around a lineman to then grab the quarterback. Like, I didn't really think of that, honestly, because if you are in close enough proximity and you as a lineman get pushed back in the pocket, like all of a sudden, if I've got enough of go-go gadget arms, as Coach Mack would say, like I can just grab some jersey of the quarterback, and I might not get him down, but I might hold him up for my edge rusher to get there.
It's disrupting. It's exactly what it is. Like, long arms prevent me, an offensive lineman, from getting into your body. If I can get into your body, then we're dancing. I'm going to pull you close to me, and we just going to rock side to side is kind of how it goes a little bit, and that's where that advantage plays a part. Now, the skill set that Ruben Bain Jr. is playing with, like I said, he gives up his shoulders more than his arms, and I think it's because, like I said before, when I broke him down, he naturally is adjusted to it.
Sure. Would you say it is a fair assessment that Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami is a better overall football player, yet David Bailey is the better pure pass rusher?
Yes, that's how I view him.
So which would you rather have if you're the Titans? The better pure pass rusher or the better overall football player?
I think they need a better overall football player.
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice, too, Robert Saleh yesterday said out of the draft process last year, they scouted Femi Oladejo as a 4-3 defensive end as well.
It makes sense.
And, two, I mean, like, if you do have different types on each side of the line, like Gus Bradley said in his introductory press conference, where you have a more pure pass rusher on one side and you have your bigger built, I can slide inside pass rusher on the other side, that's Femi and Bain on one side right there, on both sides of the same defensive line.
Yeah. That would be a sick 4 down front right there, man, if you can piece that together. And like you said, they're going to utilize Jeff as far as being an outside rusher as well, too, rushing over the tackles. Getting Bain, I think, balances out your deficiencies where your front seven will be one of the better ones, I think, immediately in this. I just don't see the production of David Bailey in the run stopping side that makes him more available to you. But like you said as well, though, Will, getting 10-plus sacks a year mean a lot.
Mm-hmm. It does. No doubt. I think if you had 5 linemen of Jeffrey Simmons, Tavandre Sweat, Femi Oladejo, Reuben Bain Jr., and John Franklin Myers added in free agency, all of a sudden you're feeling decent about this defense, especially up front. You feel, I think, good about the defense up front. Then it becomes much easier to say, hey, if we're dropping 7 in coverage more often, we can still get home with 4. Cornerback needs are addressed by addressing the front 7, Ramon. And now you can play a numbers game on the back end, and it's a little bit easier to sleep at night with the cornerbacks that you add to this roster as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through as well, as you mentioned all of that, like the guys that got double-digit sacks this year. And it's a fascinating group. Chase Young is a part of that. Montez Sweat is a part of it. Max Crosby on a losing team is a part of it as well. James Pierce Jr., losing team. Heck, that's a conversation. Do you trade for a guy like that or see if he gets cut and want to use him later? Which domestic, I'd highly doubt it.
Yeah, I think James is a different case right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Fascinating approach to how they'll go in deciding if it's David Bailey or Reuben Bain, if that's where they're sticking.
Sure. Coming up, Mel Kiper's most recent mock draft has a pick for the Titans we've not talked a lot about, plus some other headlines from the NFL Combine this morning as a Titans opponent is headed back to London twice in 2026. That's next as Hour 4 of Ramon and Will continues and begins after this. What's up? It's Will Bowling. I've got a reminder for you as we head through the end of February. You remember when the year started and you made all those resolutions about cleaning up, about things that are going to happen better in 2026? Well, one of those needs to be cleaning up around you and making sure your home is spotless. We clean at the beginning of New Year's. We purge. But why don't we treat our homes the same way? I want to tell you about my friends at Zero Res who offer a healthier way to clean your home. They've got ZR Water cleaning agents, and the science behind ZR Water is much healthier than using soaps and detergents to clean. There are 4,800 Google reviews, over 700 Facebook reviews that'll back it up as well. When you talk about Zero Res, you start with the great service that they offer, and you also talk about the smarter lasting clean. There's no harsh chemicals, no soap residue, faster dry times, and everything will stay cleaner longer. These are all great things you need in your life that you need to continue prioritizing, even though we're 2 months in and almost 3 to the new year. Book online at ZeroResNashville.com or call them at 615-535-9376. That's Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. 615-535-9376. And don't forget to ask about their air duct cleaning.
9:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. NFL news out of the Combine this morning. Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese told reporters he plans on running the 40-yard dash and taking part in both linebacker and edge drills this week in Indianapolis. The Commanders and Jaguars will both play games in London this season, but the Jags, they'll play in back-to-back weeks in the upcoming season. Also, five-time All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams of San Francisco, who will have a $39 million cap hit this season. He and the 49ers are struggling to find a contractual solution if the two sides cannot bridge their differences in the standoff. Williams would be expected to join this year's free agent class, but 49ers GM John Lynch this morning believes the two sides would be able to reach a deal. Last night, Nashville SC, they're advancing to the round of 16 in the CONCACAF Champions Cup after beating Atletico Ottawa 5-0 at Geodis Park. Nashville now will face Inter Miami in the next round in a home and away series starting at Geodis Park coming up on March 11th. And last night, Tennessee Vols basketball dropped 73-69 to Missouri Tigers guards T.O. Barrett and Mark Mitchell both combined for 50 points in the win. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 4 from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Ramona Will rolls on, streaming live at 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, where the F&M Bank chat is open as always. He is the 11-year NFL vet, Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins, present and accounted for. I have put eyeballs on other people who work at 104.5 The Zone, Ramon.
Hey, they showed up to work today. Let's go.
Buck Rising, the only one to have arrived so far after seeing his beloved Indiana Hoosiers lose in person to Northwestern at home, paling in comparison to a quality loss, as we'll say, for Tennessee at Missouri last night, which in another day, and if it wasn't a Combine week, we'd talk a lot more about. But, yeah, he is here. I think Bert might be here. For all I know, Bert's just been camped out at the podiums listening to edge rushers and linebackers, honestly. So very real chance that he has already made it onto the premises as well.
Easily, man. I'm sure he's thoroughly enjoying himself as well. I text him a little bit because I know that this is a big deal for Robert Walsh. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's got meta glasses on. Yeah, absolutely. Like he's running around like a kid would in late November when Toys R Us was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Toyland for him.
It is. It absolutely is. Bert knows as much about the NFL draft and these players and has watched as much film as I would argue like most people in our building.
Yeah,
most people that do this. So absolutely. I say that with all due respect to everyone. He's crushing it. Absolutely right. Jags heading back to London. 2 games next season. Yeah. Back to back. Jordan 96-97, Ramon. What would that be like for a player to be in another continent playing football away from home for that long?
It's about how you approach it. I would say that first and foremost. If you're a homebody and you only want to play football in America, that's cool. But I think for guys that like life experiences, get an opportunity to get in the culture because they got to operate like they are, a regular week for them in the States. So if they get out and go see London and be a part of it and take enough clothes, go shopping, go on a date if you bring your spouse or significant other with you, it could be a very pleasant situation to be in. The hotels that they have us staying in over there are elite, whether they're the golf resorts or whether they're, some of the hotels that are around the city of London. It's amazing. The only inconvenience is practice.
Yeah, fair.
That being outside of your locker room and not having your bag or shoes or having to get on the bus an hour and a half early before you want to be there is problematic. But for the most part, man, they should thoroughly enjoy it, especially if they get an opportunity to go out like after the game and stuff like that in London with safety, because I think the Steelers had a guy get beat up over in Ireland this past year.
That's right. Part of the rationale here is that they will be a stadium with reduced capacity in the 2026 season as the Jags build a canopy over their current stadium at Everbank Stadium there.
They need it.
That is why they are playing an extra game. So Mia O'Brien put this out there. The Jags' NFL required games are currently slated to occur in 27 and 30 or soon after. However, the NFL has agreed to move that second NFL required game to 2026 when Everbank Stadium is at reduced seating capacity. So moving that game to 26 combined with the Jags' annual game in London results in the Jags playing back-to-back games during the 2026 season, one at Wembley and one at soon-to-be-relegated Tottenham Hotspur.
Man, if I was a season ticket holder, I'd be ticked off. I'd be looking for a discount, and I'm sure discount isn't coming with those renovations.
Probably not.
I guarantee you the discount is not coming.
The first ever NFL game in a stadium from the English Championship when Tottenham goes down at the end of this season. I can dream, can't I?
Yeah, you can.
I can dream.
Absolutely.
4-1, Jonathan Schaefer, if you're listening. 615-737-1045, how you jump in. Easton Free is going to join us here at the table in Indy coming up in 10 minutes. Ramon, Mel Kiper has the Tennessee Titans selecting Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese with the 4th overall pick. His latest mock draft at ESPN.com has Fernando Mendoza going 1 because, of course, Caleb Downs going 2, which I think is interesting.
That's Jets?
That is the Jets. David Bailey, 3rd to Arizona, and Reese 4 to the Titans. He says Reese's instincts and bursts are all over the tape. I'm still ranking him high as a linebacker at the moment, and he could help Tennessee there. But new coach Robert Saleh might very well move him to the edge, where he played the majority of the time in 2025. Although the Titans' 42 sacks tied for 12th most last season, 11 of them came from defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons on the interior. The edge is a weakness. Reese could be a high-impact player in this unit no matter where he lines up. What are your thoughts, Ramon, just on the surface level on Arvell Reese and the potential fit in Robert Saleh's defense?
They got to let – I don't want to see them let the underwear Olympics, like, pushing them over the edge. Arvell Reese, in my personal opinion, the way I think of him as an athlete, and he said he was going to compete and do drills there, he's going to test off the charts, I'd expect. Like I said to you earlier, I think he runs probably low 4.4s with his athleticism, with his size. He's got an attitude to match it as well on the field. It's just that how much time are you going to give him and to develop that edge rushing expertise or his skill set? And if it doesn't work for him, are you really going to move him off the ball, or are you going to force this to be a thing for Arvell Reese? Like I said, the way I'm viewing this position is I don't think Ruben Bain is going to jump off the charts as far as his measurements, as far as his timing, as far like with him running. If he does the vert, if he does the 3-cone drill, I just look at him as a football player. And Arvell Reese is going to be very tempting to a team in which I don't think they're going to be ready for him, to be quite honest with you. I don't know how much time you're going to give Femi Oladejo and Arvell Reese to grow up at the edge position. Like, I get where Mel Kiper's coming from. He's been doing this for a very long time, and he understands these athletes and prospects. But we're talking about 2 project guys and Femi Oladejo and also Arvell Reese that's got to grow up. That's, if I'm a coach that's setting me up to not be successful, if I'm asking those things of those 2 young fellas.
Sure. I think it is interesting just the depth at linebacker and the Titans need at inside linebacker, considering you are moving into a 4-3 defense that will play more of a Sam linebacker, Will linebacker, and Mike all at the same time. And this is, again, where the evaluation of James Williams is critical for the franchise and for this defense. Bro. If you believe in James Williams, maybe you are willing to throw him out there and say, you know what, that's my guy. That's my new starter within this defense. I'm not sure James Williams has shown enough to say you don't take Arvell Reese if he's available there and you love him. What I think is interesting is that Arvell Reese is, I think, out of the 3 edge rushers, maybe the best football player and maybe the worst fit for what Robert Saleh will want in a defensive end. As someone who is very raw as a pass rusher, who has projectable, off-the-charts athletic traits, but doesn't have the overall experience at that position. That is where Ruben Bain Jr., as the scheme fit, battles up against someone who, again, best football player. Then you got David Bailey, who's somewhere in the middle of them, who's probably the best today pure pass rusher of the three. But Arvell Reese might one day be the best pure pass rusher of the three. It is, it's a hard call, Ramon, and it is an important call for them to make. At the end of the day, the importance is not in picking someone just for your scheme and saying, this guy today is the best fit. I think where coaches will view this, Ramon, and correct me if I'm wrong, is whoever I like the most as a football player, then I will adapt to that guy's strengths. But whose strengths am I most in love with? I think that's the way we've got to think about this in the right order of operations.
Yeah, it is. And as a coach too, you'll adjust your scheme as much as you need to in these type of situations. The issue that the Titans are face right now is there's so many different issues to fill. And this draft conversation is also before free agency kicks up and everything else that's happening too. And we're speaking about the immediate need of it. Like that's the issue. You could go corner, you could go wide receiver, you can go D-line. There's so many different ways. Or running back right now with Jeremiah Love getting so much love and praise. I don't envy. I said it last year was an easy pick. I don't envy it this year. As far as going pick number 4 overall. But I'll say this, though, selfishly, Will, I enjoy this for us. We're not stuck on one position. Finally, we're not stuck on one need for this team, and they can go any direction that you want them to, even trade back if you like to.
Sure. I want to ask Easton Freeze this question coming up after the break, but I want to ask it to you right now, and I am putting you on the spot. Ooh. Give me the handful of players that you would nod and smile and say, yep, good pick for if the Titans take them with the 4th overall pick.
Reuben Bain Jr., Jeremiah Love, and Mansour Delane.
Oh, wow.
Because I get it.
So not David Bailey in there.
No, I should probably go 4 and Bailey. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bailey. I did.
So Delane over Reese for you for the Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
I know we're up again, and I got a reason for it, but finding a premier corner, whether it's him or Jamad McCoy, and the reason I ain't put Jamad in there is because Jamad is coming off of the ACL, and I know that's going to give people a BTS, Shattered Titan Syndrome. A little PTSD there.
Yeah. Okay.
Those would be my 4. Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, we'll bring Easton Freeze into that discussion when we come back as we continue to broadcast live from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Ramona Will continues after this.
Tennessee was hit hard by severe weather last month from Winter Storm Fern. As communities across Tennessee continue working to rebuild from flooded homes and storm-damaged schools to infrastructure weakened by the melting snow and ice, USS is here to help. Since 1994, United Structural Systems has helped thousands of families and businesses restore their homes after foundation damage. Often, that damage comes from the kind of severe weather Tennessee sees year after year. It's just a part of the United States in which we live in. But USS, they don't just fix structures. They help restore stability, safety, and peace of mind, especially for people recovering from storms, flooding, and shifting ground. Their community involvement it is supporting local schools, neighborhoods, and organizations like Habitat for Humanity. It reflects their belief that rebuilding is about hope and rising again together. And once again, United Structural Systems is proud to support Habitat for Humanity. Their upcoming spring build will be their 10th this March. Yes, 10. That is a huge, major milestone in their long-standing service to Middle Tennessee, man. They're just one of the best companies out there doing it. If you have any foundation repair or waterproofing needs, man, you can go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Ramona Will continues from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Ramon Foster back at Mission Control with Justin Hawkins, Will Bowling, joined by Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports here at the table. We're like 4 rows apart. You've made your way to the back of the room now. That's where right. It looks like we're in prison behind us. How's it going?
It's going great. Did you stare at the back of my head during the A to Z Sports morning show?
The Jets have some signs that was blocking my view, and I don't know. Just we've had everyone in the chats like, is Will actually an Indy? There's no way of proving it because there's just a center block wall behind me.
Well, I'm here.
Yes, you are here. You are. There we go. Proof that I'm in Indianapolis. That's right here.
I didn't drive home for this radio hit. I walked 15 yards from my table.
That is exactly right. All right. I just asked Ramon this, and he had a surprising addition to this list that I want to get more of his thoughts on as well, and your thoughts on this player on Mansour Delane that we'll talk about in a minute. But my question for Ramon that I am now asking you is, if you were to give me your handful of players that if the card is turned in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the 2026 NFL Draft, the number 4 overall pick for the Titans, you would nod your head and say, good pick. Who are those players?
Oh, there's 4 of them, and they're boring and obvious.
Okay.
I think that they will pick one of the following 4 players: Ruben Bain, Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Carnell Tate. I really think it's that simple.
Okay.
I think that those are the options.
Okay.
And that may be exciting to some who really desperately want edge and wide receiver help, maybe boring to some who really like some of these less premium position guys. Jeremiah Love is the obvious answer here for a lot of people that want that kind of a weapon on the offense, and I understand that, and that's a separate conversation. But knowing what I know about Mike Borgonzi, and we're going to talk to him here in a couple of hours, he's somebody that values the premium nature of positions, values what we know historically about the draft, and specifically about the edge position and how it really is cut and dry. If you want an alpha edge rusher, you have to spend a first-round pick on them. Almost always that is the case. And with no other position is it really that cut and dry. So I think that's going to weigh pretty heavily in his decision. And Carnell Tate, I'm just leaving kind of that in for because of how badly they need receiver and because of how unsure I am about their... We know it's all about Cam Ward, right? Like everything's about Cam Ward. I get it. I don't know how much they're going to go all in on that in free agency in the draft just because of how... Like, I remember down the stretch of the last 7 or 8 games of the year last year, we'd be doing pregame shows, and we would literally say, like, I don't care about what the defense does today because they're, like, kind of dead to me. No disrespect to the defenders on the team, but it felt like Jeffrey Simmons in the gang for a lot of the end of the year, and our expectations for them were so low because of the personnel on the field. That side of the ball needs more love. Like, it just does. The offense is not some juggernaut by any means, but they have some investments there that they are rolling over into this year that I think the defense lacks. So those are my answers, those 4 guys.
Easton Freeze with us, A to Z Sports. Ramon, tell Easton then your list, and I want to hear more of your reasoning on Mansour Delane as an option at corner.
It was Ruben Bain Jr., Mansour Delane. It was, what was it, Arvell Reese? No,
it wasn't Reese.
It wasn't Reese.
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love.
Oh.
And I even threw in Jamar McCoy if he was healthy.
Yeah, if he was healthy, all of a sudden that does become an option at 4.
The reason I put Mansour Delane in there is this. I feel the same way about that cornerback position, Easton, as you do about edge position. Like, the best way to get a premium guy and to see him grow up is to usually draft him. The Titans have experimented, I feel like, year after year trying to find Band-Aids at that position, and it's the one that hadn't stuck. I look at the edge position if they don't go edge. And free agency and say, yeah, you can fill it with this guy, and that guy. I don't know if you can do that necessarily with corners each and every year. There's been 0 guys here that have stuck. And if you want one that fits your type, whether that's Mansour Delane or Jamar McCoy or another one of these guys, the best way to get your dude is to draft him in that world. That's the way I view that position. The good corners usually are the ones that you bring in that got a high pedigree and available to learn in the scheme that you want them to.
So this is interesting. I think just philosophically we disagree on this, which is cool. Because,
I love that, yeah.
First of all, I love the shout for Mansour Delane because he definitely is a top 10 talent in this class that's not getting a whole lot of talk, but I'm with you on that. I philosophically don't value cornerback the same as other premium positions. I think that cornerback as a unit, when I'm thinking of the 3 corners that are my starters, to me it's a floor position. And I know that there are a lot of people that aggressively disagree with that, and I understand that argument. To me, I care far more about a team's ability to get after the quarterback and to survive on the back end. And that's because of the finicky nature of the cornerback position. Year to year, there may be no position that is less predictive because cornerback is a position that lives on the edge so much. Like 6 plays can make or break whether or not you had a good year at corner. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So this is why we see guys, they're like, how many cornerbacks in the league sustain greatness over the span of 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years?
Yeah.
As compared to guys at the edge position who we just understand to be great edge rushers.
And it's a quick fall off when those
Very
corners
quick.
do fall off. I mean, we were just talking about Stephon Gilmore as one of the top corners in the league and a precipitous fall. I mean, even talking about
Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner's another one.
Ran the league and he was traded for a massive haul. But like right now, what's everyone's opinion of him? It's not super high.
It's a good point. So, I mean, it's almost a similar topic as quarterback then, in that when you don't have one, keep drafting them and keep buying lottery tickets at corner, and ultimately you're going to have enough volume there that by committee, I agree with you. It's going to end up working out.
The thing that resonates with me, and you hear coaches say this sometimes, is like, you're only as good as your third corner.
Right.
That's basically my philosophy, is that I care far more about how bad my worst corner is than how good my best corner is. And having an elite cornerback, like watching what Christian Gonzalez was doing for the Patriots on their playoff run, like I'm not trying to diminish that at all.
Sure.
It's a luxury to me. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Issa Freeze, A to Z Sports with us here in Indianapolis. We have talked a lot this morning about how Arvell Reese, for what Robert Saleh is defensively today, is not the best scheme fit at edge rusher because he is the least refined pure pass rusher. Sure. 97 pass rush snaps last season.
Right.
The pressure rate was 18.5%. I mean, it's
real
significant.
Nice hit rate.
but also at the same time, he's done it less and is maybe that more, like Gus Bradley talked about, the one side of the defense that is the defensive line that is your prototypical pass rusher. The other side that is going to be able to move inside, your John Franklin Myers within that Jets defense. That's Reuben Bain Jr. Is Arvell Reese a rare enough talent and athlete for Robert Saleh and Mike Borgonzi in this defense to say, you know what, that may not be the traditional type for a Robert Saleh front four. We're going to make it our type, though, because you're such a good football player.
I think the question they have to be asking themselves, and I'd imagine they are asking themselves, is he a rare enough mind? Because athletically, I think the answer is clearly yes.
Right.
And he's going to light this place on fire with the athletic testing later this week. There are not going to be any questions there. I'm pretty certain of that. I have been listening to, and I talked to Arvell this morning at his podium a little bit about this. He was giving credit to Matt Patricia at Ohio State for being the guy that really unlocked his confidence in being the type of defender he can be, which is that movable chess piece joker role. Like the flip side of the he didn't rush very much this year coin is he proved that he can handle doing all the things.
Sure.
And that's not I don't think we should take that lightly, because having a guy that is versatile in that way, we always are looking in the draft for like a kind of a reach in most cases of like, well, this guy's versatile. He can play this, he can play that. But have they proven that they can handle it mentally? Because that's the side that fans just we don't have to consider very often.
Right.
And for these guys, especially when you're expected to come in and be a year one impact, which if you're going to be a top 5 pick, you need to be a day one impact. To be able to handle that mentally as well as physically is what is really important to me. And I think the answer is yes. And I think, because I kind of agree with you that scheme-wise, like 10,000-foot picture, what a 4-3 defense wants to be, maybe he's not a perfect fit based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
Now, the projection, I think you can project him fitting in quite nicely, but it is a projection. What's interesting to me is I think the team that drafts him, assuming he is going to be doing some hybrid things in the NFL and not be a pure pass rusher, not be a pure stand-up linebacker, is the coach that drafts him has to have a really strong plan, man. And there's a lot of coaches in this league that I don't trust to do that are in range to go and get him. And my opinion of how he's going to work in year one is going to be painted by the coach that he's working with. Robert Saleh is one of the guys on my short list that I think could really maximize him from a plan standpoint because of what I've seen him do with those Jets defenses and uniquely gifted players on those teams, what I've seen him do with guys in San Francisco, uniquely gifted defenders like Fred Warner. Maybe I'm wrong, but Robert Saleh strikes me as the kind of guy that could maximize a multi-plane player like that.
Easton, when you look at this edge group that we're just speaking about, was Arvell Reese, will testing make you knock Ruben Bain? Because I personally don't think he's going to test well, even if he runs a 40, jumps his vertical and everything else. Or are you watching his tape the way Jeffrey Simmons said that he was evaluating him?
Well, and apparently he's not going to test here anymore,
He's
which
not.
was news. I don't know when that was, but I heard that. So, yeah, and whether that matters to folks or not, he's going to test eventually at Ohio State's Pro Day. He's not going to not do any athletic drills, I'd imagine. I know everyone's caring more about the measurements with him than the testing. I think he will test just fine.
Okay.
I don't like everyone talks about how he's a power rusher, not a speed rusher, but he's also not. He's not slow.
No,
he's not a slow player. Right. He's not a blazer by any means. He doesn't have the wicked first step that David Bailey has, but he also doesn't have a poor first step. So if we're talking about strengths, does not imply weaknesses. To me, the tape is what matters. Jeffrey Simmons is right on that front. I think the testing it has to inform and confirm what you see on tape. And with Bain, a lot of the testing is centered around speed, agility, and quickness, not strength. And so when his entire sell is, holy cow, the strength profile of this guy is just going to make the length not matter, like that's the upside, then unless you're a huge fan of the bench press, I'm not sure what the testing is going to do to change your opinion of Bain.
Interesting. That's fair.
Yeah.
Easton Freeze with us talking NFL draft. All right, so I know that you will have a great answer for this because I know you. Who are your guys? And I want one guy that is not likely to be a first-round pick that is one of your guys in this draft process.
Well,
it's a loaded question, I know.
It's a loaded question, and the last part of that gave me pause because the first name that jumped into my mind, I feel like he will eventually be a first-round pick, but right now he's not being mocked there.
That's perfect.
And so Omar Cooper Jr. is a very popular answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he's somebody that, and there are receipts on this, I should go dig them up. When I first watched him last month, I didn't really understand what we were all talking about in the 40s and 50s with this guy on mock draft databases. And I also didn't really understand because coming out of the championship run, Elijah Surratt, the other Indiana receiver, was getting just as much, if not more, love. Mm-hmm. And I know that there's a game-to-game element of that, but it's not like he was wildly outproducing Omar Cooper by any means.
Sure.
I just don't see what there isn't to like about Omar Cooper Jr. And if, for some reason, he truly is available for the Titans at 35, I will be doing backflips to make sure that they go and draft him. I really, truly don't think – I think he'll be gone before 25, let alone 35 when it all comes down to it. But he's the guy that I am really interested in. Here's one to pander to the fans. I mean, is Chris Brazzell just going to change the face of Tennessee volunteer wide receivers?
If anyone's going to, I think it would be him. I mean,
are
Mike
we going to break the
Matthews
stigma?
People like, but
right.
that's
we'll get
down
there
the road.
eventually.
Right, exactly. But and that's I think the thing people. The Art Briles coaching tree system conversation that always happens about Heupel. Our Vols insider Austin Price was on with us yesterday, and his point was like, I don't think people realize how much the system has changed, though. Mm-hmm. Like, Josh Heupel went into this season and redid a lot of it with Seth Luttrell coming over from Oklahoma and said, like, no, we're not just going to run deep choice, and it's not just hitch or go. Like, Chris Brazzell's running in breaking routes, and Chris Brazzell is beating good SEC defensive backs and one-on-ones in the red zone, and like that was the thing for me on Brazzell was the red zone production and just the combat catchability that has little to do with what route you are running and more to do with can you beat the guy across from you in pads in a football game and not shimmying around him dancing like we're on the freaking at a wedding the way some of these guys do like 7-on-7 drills. Like, you know TikTok what I mean?
Routes.
Like, like the TikTok routes are crazy to me. And like Chris Brazzell is breaking guys down in football games doing that.
Yeah. If you're traits oriented with these guys like I am, the traits are all there. We can bicker about the refinement and the system that he's coming from and how that informs the refinement of his game mentally, and that matters 100%.
Yeah.
And ultimately that's gonna dictate where he ends up going because the physical tool set and the traits that he has are really nice, top-notch day 2 traits.
Sure.
And I don't know. Last I checked, he's a guy that is mocking in that 40s and 50s range. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a guy that ends up going early in round 2.
I like it.
Easton, as far as current Titans go, Robert Saleh spoke a good bit yesterday. He was on all the networks. Man, what is your response to his response about Tavandre Sweat? Do you see it working? Where are you at on that project? Because I think it's fair to call it that now.
Mm-hmm. I love that topic because this is just peak offseason. What he said is the Rorschach test.
Yeah,
If you're pro Sweat, you're going to run around town waving that transcript in the air. And if you're anti-Sweat, you're going to say, well, what is he supposed to say? He's at the combine. Of course he's going to say
100%.
that. I'm going to let it confirm my priors as somebody that is pro-Sweat and say that that was an important thing for him to say.
It was.
Here's my bottom line on Sweat. I disagree. I think what he said, making the Al Woods comparison, talking about how Tavandre Sweat, for his size, shocking his ability to get sideline to sideline. He chases guys down. I feel like every game we're talking about whoa, is Tavandre the one chasing that guy down?
Right.
Wow. Is he a speed player? No, but he can build up a head of steam, and he is not a slow player that is prohibitive in what they're asking him to do. My thing about him working or not working this year, or I guess as a Titan period, is I don't think the on-field, new coach, new system element of this year is what's going to keep him from working.
Gotcha.
I don't see that as being the straw that breaks the camel's back that a lot of people think.
Sure.
Well, we were already talking about him maybe not being the best locker room fit last year when the Jarvis Brownlee situation happened, and it was not a very tightly kept secret that Tavandre Sweat's name was being brought up in that, and he's somebody that they invested more in and is a more talented player, so his leash is longer. That's how the NFL works. But it's going to be a now or never situation for him going forward. I think that's what's going to make or break him as a Titan.
Sure.
The thing we've been talking about since week 6 last year, not the fact that he has a new coach and a new defense, because I think coaches are supposed to maximize the good players on their team, and Tavandre Sweat is a good football player.
I'm with you.
Great answer.
Bar for bar. Easton Freeze, A to Z Sports with us. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
Always a blast.
When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. And, Allen Kirby figured out how to fix this tripod in about 2 seconds that I could not do in 3 hours.
Wow.
So, again, I am the biggest idiot. I am the village fool in Radio Row. Unbelievable. We'll wrap up the show next. 104.5 The Zone. Ramona will wrap it up the show on 104.5 The Zone, the Buck Rising show on deck, present and accounted for. Ramon Foster.
Hey.
Today, Mike Borgonzi speaks with the media. That is coming up as I look at my trusty schedule. 1 p.m. Eastern, noon at home. What do you want to hear from the GM today, Mr. Foster?
A lot of coach speak.
Okay. Speak for yourself. Dang.
Man, I'm so numb to that, like wanting them to have breaking news, because whatever he says, Robert Saleh has to agree with it as well. Whatever he says has to be accounted for on draft day. Whatever he says is null and void right now. Like, I'd love to hear him speak about free agency and what their plan is for filling the cornerbacks on this team. I'd love to hear them speak about targets that they'd have as far as edge and a plan for Tavandre. Are they checking in with him and Jeff as they're both together training? Those are the real things that I would like to hear, but I just don't see him giving a lot because Borgo, as they call him, is savvy.
Sure is. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in the way he handles potentially a Will Levis question. I think that would be of interest to me, and it certainly was yesterday when Robert Saleh said, I'm looking forward to working with him, and said he just talked with him. And I don't know. I mean, obviously you're only going to hear positive things, and whether you want to keep him or you want to trade him, it is in your best interest to gas him up and to be positive. But yeah, I think the backup quarterback thing is kind of a sneaky talking point and conversation for this team. And I don't know. It's something we've spent a lot of time on recently, Ramon, because this has not been an organization that's had really any sort of stability at a position, mind you, to be fair, that doesn't normally have a lot of stability, backup quarterback.
Is Levis removed himself enough to be the backup here? Let me jump back in and say, I did say earlier this offseason that I don't think he's backup material.
Here's what I'll say. Did he remove himself from the state of Tennessee enough to make himself an option to go somewhere else? But he wasn't here, Ramon, this past season. He was in California.
Yeah.
And that's not insider knowledge. That's based off of his Instagram. Like, I don't know how that was received. And maybe that's something that, listen, I'm not speaking with any sort of intel on this. I'm just mean in general, like, I don't know, because that was interesting to me. I don't know if it's important. That was interesting to me that Will Levis was away from the team the entire season.
That ain't too far-fetched, though.
Okay.
Guys go on IR and
that's my question.
Remove themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think especially at quarterback, I think there's an argument to be made that was maybe the best thing for Cam. It's like, you know what? Let's go over here and focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
This team is kind of on its own journey now at quarterback that's independent of Levis. So I don't think it's something that anyone needed to take personally. Like, it's not a negative. I just think it's interesting, that dynamic, and just how removed Will Levis was from the day-to-day operation of Tennessee Titans football in 2025.
No, I will say that is a natural occurrence in this league.
Right.
It is. I've seen some guys and coaches ask him to say, hey, don't go out of town, man. We need you for morale. We need you around. Levis' situation with the development of Cam, I didn't think was going to be productive for him to be in and around like that. And there's nothing he could help him with se, considering they had Brandon Allen last year. I saw a dude one time that was from Hawaii. He got his Achilles popped, and we didn't see him until like week 12 during the season. He was back in the homeland.
Sure.
It ain't far-fetched.
Caleb Banks channeling his inner Marshawn Lynch a few minutes ago at the podium. Quote, I'll run through a mother bleeper's face. Okay. Yes. Appreciate that, Caleb. Anything else?
Yes.
No other questions? All right. Thanks, Caleb. Have a good one.
No, that's
all we needed to hear.
That is beautiful, Will. Those are the types of things I want to hear, man. Big boy from Florida. I remember him, man. He came back, I think, the game we played him.
He came back for the Tennessee game. That's right.
He is a menace. I like him. I do. I really do.
Okay.
Caleb Banks. I love that for him.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. All right, so we've proven that I'm in Indianapolis because Easton was sitting next to me. Stoney Keeley has joined the discussion in the F&M Bank chat and chimed in and said, live from Will's jail cell. So I'm going to give proof. We're going to give you a tour here. So picking up the laptop. Here we go. Radio Row. Wow. Ooh. Ah. All right, there you go.
It's not
104.5 The Zone
pretty.
TV. There's your great radio here. Just me oohing and eyeing like I'm watching a fireworks show to just, shots of like teams and podcasts and draft people. It's just great. So much fun.
What's crazy is that it's painted up so big and so, must-see TV, the NFL Combine, and then you turn that camera around, it's just a bunch of desks with everybody doing their shows, man.
Just working. That's
just working.
Bam hit us up, Ramon, and said he was with me Saturday downtown enjoying the vibes with a picture of Will Levis downtown.
He was.
There's a picture right here.
Ever since Bam posted that AI picture of him being outside the Titans facility, I don't know what to believe no more. I'm going to be real with you.
I did see Bam tweeted that at us over the weekend. I did see that. Will Levis enjoying Printer's Alley. Printer's Alley, I mean, he's got good taste in places to go downtown. Printer's Alley's great.
And Bam be jamming, man. I like messing with Bam like that from time to time, but he be in there jamming, man. I got to give him his credit where credit is due.
Bam's a great Titans fan.
He is an amazing Titans fan. I'm surprised they don't have Bam trying the new uniforms revealed, man, unveiling.
Who's to say? We don't know if they have it.
People trying to speculate, were those pants in a jersey or was that pants as well? I saw a black trim yesterday. I think somebody made that up, but there's a lot of those mocks going around social media right now with the Titans jerseys.
I don't think so. I mean, the only thing we've been given from the team publicly is the picture of a light blue, Titan blue, I should say, on brand, silhouette, and
two-tone blue.
Navy TriStar, so I don't know.
Yeah, me either.
Back at it tomorrow morning, the final day from the Combine. Looking forward to that. We're going to get Amy Wells to come in here and respond to you slandering her driving.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And talk NFL draft to recap everything. Mike Borgonzi at noon. Bert, what time's Robert Saleh on the show? Right off the top. Robert Saleh coming up next on the Buck Rising Show. Looking forward to that and looking forward to one more show with you tomorrow morning.
No doubt about it. Good people, remember at all times, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot, baby.